Hi, guys. Hello. Hello. My green dots are back. They weren't on yesterday's, but they're on this one. And I'm just going to take a second because you're witnessing my broken system just fucking freaking out, malfunctioning all over the place. I'm not even speaking right. This is totally fine. I didn't sleep last night. I threw up a bunch last night. That's how you get rid of trauma. Yeah. Because yes, Family and Children's Services are demanding my presence in court Monday. Yeah, I know. And you'd think that the government would want to do something, but no. When the court requests your presence, you go, even if they've given you less than 24 hours notice to be there. Yes, that is a human rights violation because I'm not given the opportunity to even find my own lawyer. Okay, so I, have to go into the fucking court on Monday without a lawyer because they are making me. Okay, yes. And last night, first of all, let me show you, because I'm not going through everything, but I'm going to show you that this is interesting. You see this envelope that all court documents came in? You see how it doesn't have an address on it? That means this is actually addressed to nobody. And that's a technicality, okay? First and foremost. And then I noticed all these papers are separated with these beautiful paper clips. And then you'll know that actually they're supposed to be fucking staples because you're not supposed to mail paper clips. So that's fine. And then I look over this one document. So, okay, when you're in court, we're going to go over that. But what my followers, what my kids need to hear, because as far as I'm concerned, this live stream is documentation to prove my parenting after my death, because I can't get a doctor to diagnose kidney failure. And when this lady called my husband and we were in the Toronto emergency room for kidney failure, and my fucking charts will prove it, like, this will go away. And then when I fucking have a lawyer that can prove that the whole fucking police report used by the Family and Children's Services Unit to decide I am whatever they say they are, and yes, I will say what they are asking the court to agree with. And I'm going to tell you what the evidence that they think they have. And I'm not even going into this, because I found out last night we now have a copy of the police report, which is interesting because I asked to receive it because I needed my psychiatrist to help me through it as it was an assault, and I now have access to it. Now, Greg has read it and I have not. I refuse to. I don't need to, because with due process, I will have a lawyer that will fight this for us because it is so unbelievably off base and so unbelievably, it's crazy. And I'm going to tell you what they want. What I have to, the worst thing that I can do, because here's the thing, I'm going to show up Monday morning and the first and only thing I'm going to say is I want a lawyer. And I'm not fucking saying anything unless I have to, if I don't have a lawyer, because I know I can prove that because this, Greg says somebody hand delivered it Friday afternoon. And we received our court date, like our court Zoom meeting at 3:30 p.m. via a text message. What? That's appropriate for a governing agency trying to take my rights as a human away? No. Okay, you know what? I just need to prove. So when I show up on Monday, again, I haven't slept because Greg has read the police report and he has disclosed to me that it is unflattering to him and what he said that I did and said on that day. And I've already explained in the testimony video after I die, when this is all a big misunderstanding, that I know he was mistreating me. I know it. But I also blame the cops for being chatty. I already filmed it significantly before now. And now I find out that after they assaulted me in the St. Catharines General Hospital, that They decided to blame my husband. Of course they are. They're going to say that even her husband says she's crazy. Turns out that since then, I've been incredibly sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. And my health has transcended our arguments of my mistreatment by him. And he's acting a little better now. Hence why I'm in his primary residence, which is interesting. And the government is happy to watch because they think that I'm a fucking threat to democracy. Meanwhile, I'm live streaming this bullshit in the event of my death because I can't reach a doctor in Ontario. And everyone wants to not want to see what the fucking Family and Children's Services of Niagara are doing hand in hand with my assailant, the fucking NRP, who I will be able to pretty easily prove that actually did assault me because that fucking police report that I refused to read without a psychiatrist because I already made that promise to myself. But now every time I have to deal with this, my daughter's going to have an anxiety attack because she witnessed the assault. That's fine. Haul my ass into court. If you think that me having a kidney infection at Toronto Sinai Hospital is inconvenient to you, you have no idea. Because that's going to be about the fucking only thing I say to the judge is they texted me husband while I was in the emergency room in Toronto if I'm required to answer that question. Again, understand the first thing that a not crazy woman would say in a court of law is I want a lawyer and I wasn't given a chance to get a lawyer and it's in my rights to have a lawyer. Not to mention that I've already asked for an Indigenous advocate on every single case that's happening here and they aren't provided here. Where is my Indigenous advocate, Bev? Was she given this fucking information? Nope, doubt it. But I do have somebody working on this case with me. And so everything seems to be a little out of order, don't you think? I happen to think. So yes, they decided that because I was in the hospital in Toronto, that I did not want to speak to them that day, that their only response was to try to fucking take my rights as a parent away. Notice that they're not trying to take my children away from my home. They are trying to have me supervised as a parent for 6 months. That's it. And I am totally happy to have them come into this fucking house. And I've absolutely said they can. But I said I'm sick right now with a kidney thing right now, whether my husband wants to know what happened in August or not. But I tell you, he's listening to me now in November. That's why I'm here at his primary residence. Where I've been online saying I'm at Greg's house this whole time. You think it's going to be hard for my husband's lawyer to prove that his address is incorrect? You'd think, right? You'd think they'd do their research and at least ask him what his address is before they assume things that are incorrect. You'd think. I have to move this anger out of me. I have to get better because I have to be seen in court on Monday and I need to be able to hold my fucking emotions in so that I can indicate that I don't have a lawyer and I wasn't provided time to get one. And this is a piece of shit. God, I can't wait till my honorary the medical degree, of course, but the law degree that I just get to practice now. And I don't need to go to school for it. Because I know when you file a legal document with the fucking court and you can't even get my last name right, you have a fucking problem and this whole thing gets dismissed. And I need to be able to say that without this fucking tone because I'm talking to one judge who needs to, I have to be seen explaining the court process to you before Misty Ann even gets there because she's not an idiot. Now teaching at Harvard University about her experience and how you just fucking get out of a situation. Because I can't help what the government is asking me to do. And the government agency responsible for families is requesting my attendance in a courtroom. Is that a gross overstep of bounds? Absolutely. Is that a great, huge fucking human rights violation? Yes. Why? Yes, it is. What can I do right now? Nothing. But live stream, and in case I die of a stroke between then and now, at least you can know what I would have said to this judge. And the first thing I'm going to say is, I need a lawyer. Clearly. I need a lawyer. clearly, because this is fucking a chimpanzee foundation, and it won't be hard to have a free lawyer at Children's Aid or fucking whatever realize my name is wrong on this legal document asking to take my rights as a human away. So perhaps you haven't done enough work. Perhaps you haven't done all the work that you need to do to ensure that you are providing help to me. No, instead you think that I threw myself on the floor kicking and screaming in an emergency room, and you request me to explain myself. And I have explained myself. I have said on multiple occasions that officer assaulted me and nobody has helped me. So whose fault is that? That is yours. All I need to prove is that I don't have a lawyer and my name isn't spelled with an E-N, because it's pretty easy to prove on my OHIP records my actual spelling of my actual name. First and last, I believe, are correct on my health documents because everything's in capitals and they don't fuck with the hyphen or the space. And I'm pretty sure everything is one word, because everyone always gets tripped up when they put a hyphen when there's no hyphen or a space where there's no space, but it matches my birth certificate, and that's all that really fucking matters, because I can just prove that my driver's license has been wrong the whole time, because it goes back to your birth records. And they're like, oh, well, yes, it is incorrect. And it's just whatever. As soon as they spell your name wrong on something, unless it's really fucking wrong and prevents you from getting anything with ID, doesn't really matter, because they're only looking at your birth date anyway. So whatever, spell my name wrong. I really don't care. It's not worth the hassle of going to the MTO. But my birth certificate is also in capital letters. And it is capital M, capital A, no hyphen, no space. And I'm saying it's capital M, capital A, no hyphen, no space. And I don't care what you do with the rest of the letters, as long as they're fucking there. Because this is what the Family and Children's Services is able to do at a Niagara level, in hand with the police. Meanwhile, I have told the fucking Family and Children's Services that I am Indigenous, I have been attacked, and they will not help me. But they are going to make me look like I'm crazy. Well, that's interesting, because it seems like you have a court case coming up and it might be real fucking easy to make me look crazy. Well, trust me, I'm live streaming my thoughts and I'm pretty fucking impeccable with my word. And there is not going to be a hope, because if I have to go through the worst thing, guys, that can happen to me on Monday is I have to say sure to this. But the first thing I will have asked for is a lawyer. And then when I get out of that meeting, whatever it seems to be, I will call a lawyer and I will say, listen, we got this problem. They've grossly overstepped and they've currently just been able to completely remove my rights as a parent with the wrong name on a legal document. So like, I have it covered for what the judge might say. I have statements and I will go and get them and I will let you know what could happen. But I'm stressed out and I have to explain it to you, because I know the gifted class will be watching. And Greg is just feeling like a heel right now. I will tell you that. He looks devastated when he read what was in that police report. And now I had to relive my assault because I had to explain to him that the police lied. And he's going to say, well, I kind of did say that, but they took it out of context. Trust me, honey, I know. I'm not worrying about that. I know you were disrespecting me. And we've had a conversation about that since. We are no, we are not going to descend into madness. I am not going to read that police report because it's the fucking proof I have of my assault. And the fact that I have it now means they should have provided it to me when I asked. So if I'm given an opportunity to change this in mediation, I'm just going to ask for a police report, and I'm going to put it on record somewhere that I was assaulted. And I need that police report so that my lawyer can start getting rid of this mess. Because this is, again, not going to be hard to prove that this isn't how you spell my last name. So it's totally fine. Everything is fine. But this is how fast they're allowed to move. And if you are not fucking thinking straight, you're going to panic. Don't panic. Because, like, whatever. The worst thing they can do is make me agree to this. And all I have to do is call my lawyer. And they will say, her name isn't even spelled correctly. So if I can't say something to have this judge dismiss it out of nowhere to make this de-escalate, if they further escalate it while I have to spend my hard-earned money on a lawyer regarding this instead of my malpractice lawsuit, then fine. But then we're going to have to go after the cops, and I don't think that I'm ready for them yet. I haven't even seen a psychiatrist. I'm trying to keep my eye on the school system, because that is where I think I can do the most help, because I can't handle this without having an anxiety attack. And so when I told my husband, the first thing I'm going to say is I'm in an anxiety attack, I want a lawyer, he's going to be like, you can't say you're an anxiety attack. because then you're going crazy. And I'm like, no, yes, then I can escalate. If I've already said I'm in an anxiety attack, it's their job to now say, she said she was having an anxiety attack. The whole thing is thrown out. And I understand that that's scary, but I got to tell Greg it's happening because it's happening, whether he likes it or not. And then I will just handle that. And all he needs to do is sit beside me to make sure I don't have an anxiety attack because I got this shit. But I got to do it under insane amount of pressure, knowing that they're trying to make me look crazy because I'm saying they assaulted me. And they're trying to bulldoze through because they think they can, but they can't. Nobody can. That's why the legal system is separate from the government. That's why it was so annoying when I filed my own Form 42 for my own fucking protection. Somebody said it doesn't even get handled by the Crown. So explain to me how the facts can use the legal system. The Family and Children's Services of Niagara can use the legal system. Real Star can lose a legal system. All their lawyers can lose a legal system, but I don't seem to be able to have access to my own legal system that currently has me talking to judges because I can't even send Greg this time. 2 out of 2 eviction court receipts, no evictions, not a single one. And I sent Greg and Greg alone, who didn't even think that he was able to see that we did nothing wrong with the rent thing, but he's not able to see that he was the only one who was talking to facts. So they can't even say, he can't even say it was me being in an anxiety attack talking to Ashley Millen because I was talking to her in front of him. And then I talked to him in front of her, in front of that fucking nurse in the Toronto hospital. So we didn't do anything wrong. And he said he had the audacity to say, we should have been more compliant with them. And I'm trying to tell him every single time he talked to that bitch on the phone since whenever she was here, whenever that fucking was, is like a contact. So when I prove how many times they text messaged him and how many times he talked to her on the phone, I can say there is absolutely no reason to suspect that we are being anything but compliant. They just don't like that he won't say I am available for a meeting because I'm in an emergency room. And that is easy to prove. And that is just something no judge will want to tolerate because he doesn't want to see this piece of shit at all. You have to imagine that let me take this water. I got to explain to you what just happened to me because it's fucking infuriating. Because if it's happened to me, it's happening to everybody else. And I just happen to be really fucking smart that I don't need to handle this shit. I can just go in and say, I need a lawyer. And I didn't have time to get one because I received this Friday afternoon and I'm supposed to be in court Monday at 12:40. So I want to know where the due process is, why this was hand delivered and why we didn't get notice. Why you thought that there was rush on this. Because I have here my fucking chart from Mount Sinai from that day. No, actually 2 days later, because they can't even prove that they're going to prove that I went to maternity and I was discharged on the Friday. Okay. Wait till you see what they're asking for. And the worst thing that I have to say is yes. But I'm going to say yes, and also I was assaulted, and I'm going to say yes, and also this is out of order, and I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to say I was an anxiety attack. I said it at the beginning, and I also asked for a lawyer, and you wouldn't let me have one. Also, I have an Indigenous advocate that I messaged actually fucking before business on Friday, just in case that the Indigenous advocate I have for my patient health matters can get in touch with my advocate for my family matters, because they're different people. So I messaged my patient care advocate for the health system and told her to help me find Bev because my ass is going to be in front of a court of law tomorrow without even time to get a lawyer. And it's fine. All I need to do is get out of that by saying I don't have a lawyer because all courts work the same. And if I have to see a judge and I talk to this asshole's in-house lawyer, you've got to make sure that I'm going to make sure that they know I would have had a lawyer if I had time to get one. And if I don't have time to get one, if this judge is not going to let me have a lawyer and they're going to let this shit continue, at least I'm going to say what I need to say. And yeah, it's going to freak out Greg, but I just need to get my anger under control because I'm not allowed to go into a courtroom like this because I can't even get a little bit. I can't even ask a police for fucking oxygen in an emergency room without being assaulted. So I just have to assume I'm just going to be assaulted every fucking time I leave my house. I wonder why that is. Totally fine. Everything is fine. I just need to navigate one fucking meeting with one judge on Monday, and I just need to indicate facts doesn't know what they're talking about. It's not hard to prove after the fact. I just need to get out of one meeting, and I already told Greg the worst thing I can do is agree to this shit because I can prove I didn't have time to get a lawyer. Drink your water. Drink your water. Where's my vape pen? It's bad. I'm broken. My system is broken. Watching Greg see what they say, what he said against me in that fucking police report is assaulting me again. And it's assaulting Greg. And he just looks the worst right now. He looks like, I just want to give him a hug. Nobody's watching this. Nobody. So this is all going to be just testimony in the event of my death because I can't access a doctor in Ontario and everybody's ready to let me die. Well, I am going to be in court on Monday if anybody wants to join me because the Ontario government is totally happy to let this continue to happen. Because I can prove they've been watching me the whole time. Somebody has, you can tell, because of the audio issues on the files I've already uploaded. Great. Shouldn't be hard to get some fucking tech lawyer to help me decide what happened here. Totally fine. All I need to do is go to an appointment at 12:40. That's all I need to do. I don't have any chance to get a lawyer. I don't have any chance to get any of my advocates to help me. No, I am being forced against my will to go to court against my will without any representatives or any advocacy groups that I'm already talking about or talking to who also already has a record of what is happening because I told the Indigenous Advocacy Center what had happened to me, everything. And I reminded the patient advocate in that email or in the text message because I will text message somebody who text messaged me. And I said, I need help. But I'm not even opening it again. I refuse because it's not their job to message me over the weekend. And I'm sure they won't. I'm sure they're overworked and they turn their phone off and they put it down because it's going to be fucking impossible to have all these people messaging you all the time because there's only one medical advocate in all of Niagara. All of Niagara only has one lady. And I understand. All I need to do is prove that I reached out to them to prove that if in the event I had actual attention and plan and time and warning like a regular person would have had, I would have been able to get a judge to look at this. I would have got a lawyer who would have had this thrown out before it had ever gone this far. And then I wouldn't even have to go. I'm a little leery about water because everything I put in my body, in the last two stomachs I put in, I threw up. It's trauma. It's like trying to escape my body by any means necessary, but I don't have the water to lose on a regular basis to be thrown up. And I need to spend this fucking weekend rehabbing my daughter as best as I can. Pretending like everything is totally fine because I have no choice for it to be because these are things that happen to women in Ontario, Canada, and I get to live stream it on the internet with nobody watching. Because this is the state of the planet. And I'm trying to indicate to you it's a few bad apples here. And fucking it's making it all worse, isn't it? Isn't it? Absolutely is. I refuse to look at this police report. And I refuse, especially after I saw how unbelievably distraught Greg just got when he realizes what he said and the impact it had. Trust me, trying to indicate, fine. Yeah, he's now aware that everything he says can be used against him in a court of law. That's why it's so important you only say facts and not your opinion and what you think is happening because your wife's alcoholic mother was banging on the goddamn door 2 seconds later because you reached for other family members for help for your medical emergency that you both can agree happened. And now you can both agree it never got better. So I think we can all agree Greg is just away from me for right now because he is so upset. And I can't be around upset right now. No. I need him to realize I am being abused as a person of color in Niagara. And this is what they're trying to do. Because if we look, they're not even trying to have my kids taken away. They're trying to have it look so fucking important for my ass to be in court Monday fucking morning, hand delivered by some fucking needs to happen right now. And they didn't even spell my name right. Where do you think this is going? I don't understand. That's fine. Okay. If you are like me and this is happening to you, okay, you need to look at the one short thing. And I have two things. I have two things that I should probably need to look at. And they are this document and this document. I'm not looking about all this evidence and bullshit they have in here. Hi, Charlie. She has to watch this happen. And we have to do it without her escalating because she watched me be assaulted when this all started. And this is just one egregious human rights violation after the other after that. And I need to prove it to her that the world is not going to hell in a handbasket, because maybe my government actually needs me to go into court and say they spelled my name wrong. And you think anything else is going to be correct? No wonder what the fucking police put on their police report to start this whole thing, quite frankly. But it's this form, and it says application form 8B for application, child protection, and status review. That is what they're doing. They are just saying, we want to see this bitch, and she won't let us. And we think she's a harm to her children, so we are going to get access to her. And I've always said, fucking fine, but I'm sick right now, and it's not too much for me to ask for you not to come back into my house and fucking destroy my family until my cat's out of a cast. Because we're dealing with something here, let alone my health. She sees my cat in a cast. And if they barge in, they'll see my fucking cat kennel the size of Texas, basically the elephant in the room, which is the fact I fucking passed a kidney stone. And I said I did, and I said I did, and I said I did. And no matter what, when I die, all that matters is what I said happened. And I'm just proving everything, because not only am I on live stream indicating what I will say, which is I want a fucking lawyer and I didn't have time to get one. And this is absolutely just such an abomination and an abuse of what the legal system is supposed to be. Because you got to remember, okay, all of this shit a judge isn't going to even look at, right? What's going to happen is the judge is going to look at a couple things, because he's just going to be like, this is unnecessary, right? Because the judge is seeing a bunch of cases in a row, right? That's the judge's job. The judge's job, he works from 9 to 5, and he sees people on a fucking appointment basis, and he gets the fucking lawyer and he gets the fucking paperwork, and he's like, you and this. And he's going to be like, okay. So he's going to be like, all right, this is court file number FC21, a bunch of zeros and some numbers. You can see it right here. Okay. That's the fucking, yeah. There you go. That's my fucking thing. Totally fine. Cool. Whatever. You can see here. First off, you see who's responsible for the Family and Children's Services, and you see who's responsible for their lawyer. If this is not backwards, you should be easily able to see they're at the same address. That means this is a guy who they pay to work down the hall from finance and accounting and PR, and you can just know that this is just a disaster for this company altogether. And I'm trying to help them, and just the cops are so out of control that this is what is happening now. That is up to you to come and get me and stop this shit before I have to go in the court and say, I didn't have time to get a lawyer. That's really the only thing I want to say. But I'm going to have to say whatever I need to say, because I just have one judge, and he's going to look at this, and he's going to say, this is the first name of that person. This is Greg, and this is my ex-husband. There's no known address. Yes, this does prove that he fled the country to avoid child support. Why, yes, it does. Perfect. So on this form alone, I can see my first name is wrong, my last name is wrong, Greg's address is incorrect, Alistair's first name is wrong, and Alistair's last name is wrong. And they haven't provided my children's father the opportunity to come and be here at this. So what do you think is going to happen here, okay? First of all, it's really important that Greg's address, and he doesn't think it matters, but yes, it does matter, because we do not live at the same address. And if we let them put on fucking public record on this document that we do live on the same address, he's going to have bigger problems with his business partner, because he actually technically lives here, only I've been sick all year. After what happened to me at St. Catharines, the ICU stay of 6 days. So yes, I've had fucking Greg sitting there looking at me be sick for a year at least. But he still has his son here when he is compliant with his court order when he signed with his ex-wife. Why, yes, he is still compliant. And why, yes, he does take his court-ordered visitation at his primary residence. Because we don't have a place for his son at our house, which is why we don't live together. Why, yes, we'll just talk to a lawyer. It's so easy to throw out. I can't even. I'm not going through this fucking document. In it probably has, there's all these paragraphs here. and they just indicate why they think they have a leg to stand on, because they spent more time on this fucking court case than talking to me, and also they didn't even spell my name correctly. So quite frankly, this is all just a big misunderstanding with a couple of bad actors. Totally fine. So my daughter's watching this, and I have to convince you guys I have a plan, because I do. I just had to convince it to Greg, but I had to receive a whole lot of abuse coming at me because I had to see what he sees, and he sees what and I'm trying to explain to him, yeah, absolutely. That is pain and suffering. Yeah, it does look bad, doesn't it? Yeah, you did go on record saying some pretty shitty things to me because Tracy had just been there calling the cops, demanding my attention. And the only thing that would have prevented this whole thing was if I would have let you open the damn door. And you know now that would have been the fucking worst thing that we could have did. Because she was drunk then. And she brought with me my sister, who I still haven't spoken to because I just thought it was my mother and that was easier to tolerate. But no, apparently, as the records will show, that day that the fucking DSBN private investigator were watching me, they would have seen that. They would have seen Tracy and Sarah here banging on my door. And my husband looked at the top and he says, "It's your mom." And I said, "Don't answer it. I am sick. I cannot answer it. I don't know what to do. I'm fucking dying here and I don't know what's wrong with me." So we didn't open the door to my mother because quite frankly, wouldn't you prefer your wife just say, "No, fuck your mother, get low. You are sick and we do not need the advice of fucking an alcoholic right now." And yes, she's drinking too much right now. And yes, it is well documented. And yes, her abuse of you as an adult child of an alcoholic is well documented. Yes. Yes. She did make everything worse. She sure did. Yes, she did. Because she called the cops and I needed an EMS. And that what if I need to say in the back end that the police are the ones and the EMS was listening to the same fucking sarcastic dispatch that's recorded, totally fine. I will get there. I just need to get out of one conversation with one fucking judge. Okay? Hi, sweetheart. I'm just explaining to the internet what's happening to me because I don't really have any other way to explain it than the facts of the matter, which are all that matters to a court of law because the court is not the government. And that's why your parliament is supposed to be so important. You know? Yeah. Your legal system works separate from the government because it's usually the government on one side or the other, usually. The really big cases, the cases that get seen at the Supreme Court. And it's fine. I just need to have every fucking lawyer hang themselves on public fucking record because when I have a chance to get a lawyer, he's just going to pull them all. It's totally fine. I just need to navigate out of one call at a time. I'm just going to let you know, my daughter's on the couch now. She's allowed to hear everything. She's allowed to hear me be angry about this. But this is why we are here in this house that is healthy, that doesn't have air quality issues, that doesn't have a banister, that has no stairs with banisters hanging out of a drywall. Nothing of that nature. Nothing here. I have no responsibilities than to my own health because I have no choice, according to the government of Canada, than to get myself healthy enough to show up to court on Monday, which is interesting because I thought they were going to come and get me so they can help me get out of this mess and offer me a job because they owe me one. Totally fine. I need some fucking apple juice and some water in my system. I need to not throw up any more water today because I was able to throw up 2 full stomachs, but I already had 6 bottles of water, so I knew I'd be okay. I haven't had any today. New 12 hours, new time for water, right? I'm going to try to drink 4 before noon. I used to do this all the time on live stream, right? This is how I process my trauma of what's happening to me. And I'm not running from Greg, and he is a good man, no matter what he says I said. Because I don't believe anything the cops said, so I'm not even looking at it until I have a psychiatrist and or a detective looking at it, and I can say what actually happened. If you go to the testimony I've already left, well before I have had access to this police report, and I asked for it, and they said no. So why do I have a copy of it now? Oh, because it's my right to receive it as a citizen. And you telling me the only way I could get a police report was to go to the police and ask for it? When I'm telling you they assaulted me and this is a cover-up? Fine. Fine. If you don't think that I'm going to have my own lawyer undo this in every fucking second, the worst that I can say is I agree. That's it. So out loud, because here's the thing. If the judge is going to read anything, he's going to read this short little form. Because remember, you show up, basically, pretend you're in a courtroom. There's only one judge, guy. And because everything is fucking communal on Zoom these days, for some reason, that was appropriate. But anyway, we go to Zoom court and it's wide open because you're allowed to show up and sit and wait, and you have to watch everybody go before you, but you don't have to stay after, and everyone can just leave after they're done talking to the judge, right? So this one judge, because there's a bunch of them, and you get one at random. Okay. And I have prepared what I'm going to do if I get a judge that knows the law and a judge that doesn't know shit cares to see about the law. Because in the fucking States, you see fucking Rittenhouse be found fucking not guilty, and then the Ahmaud robbery murderers found guilty. So it's kind of a 50-50 split. And as long as you know that you have the legal grounds to have this thrown out after the fact, I do not need to panic about the fact that I wasn't offered one to begin with. Because how the court of law is supposed to work is he's supposed to say, did you have time to get a lawyer? And I will say no. And he will be like, oh, let's see us back in a month then. You must get a lawyer in a month, and then you must show up back here. They'd be like, perfect. In a month, I can have a lawyer, and I can have this completely undone, because they will just withdraw this piece of shit if I don't get this one judge to realize it's not going anywhere, yeah? So I'm going to read it out loud, and I'm going to say what they're asking for. And I'm going to have to say at the end of this meeting, fine. Fine is what I'm going to have to say. And I'm going to go get what my statements will be. First of all, okay, so this says basically, so this part of the form. So when the judge shows up and he's got this asshole lawyer who is probably either overworked and trying to do a good job and just following instructions. And if that's the case, this will be easy because he will say nothing, because he's also trying to get out of this fucking thing with just whatever. He doesn't really care. Okay, so me and my lawyer, how it's supposed to work is when they say Miss Dan McMillan case, whatever, notice the case number is not even on the only form he's going to look at. And I've already highlighted the fucking inaccurate information. Yeah. No, a funny thing, it's funny that my text message says I'm supposed to be in court at 11:40, and this actually says I'm supposed to be there at 10 a.m. Like, that's hard to prove. Now I need to tell Greg it's like 10 a.m., not 11. I have to do that right now, so he knows. Hey, hun, comma, I'm just going over the court documents in a live stream to put on record that I would have used my time wisely and got a lawyer, comma. I just noticed that even though the text message says we need to be at 11:40 or 10 or afternoon as our court case, I'm looking over the files provided to me, and we're actually expected to be in court at 10 a.m. I'm honestly just going to send it. As it is, I don't care. And it didn't even send any fucking thing. It's all gone. Everything I just wrote is gone. Sorry about that, comma, WhatsApp deleted my message, period. Very slow to voice to text right now. Totally fine. I already told you what I was saying. WhatsApp deleted my message. Doing a live stream to put on record that we would have used our time to hire a lawyer and the reasons why, in case I die before Monday from the kidney thing, I'm still not getting any better for some reason. Threw up a lot last night, but I'm pretty sure it's just processing the trauma of my abuse, my assault, while being abused by the legal system. We have to be in court at 10 a.m., not 12:40 like the text message says. We should probably make sure I'm typing faster than I'm talking out loud, because I'm saying it after I type it, because that's how fucking perfect of a person I have to be, because I have to make sure that when I die, they can say, oh my God, yes, she did say those exact things to her husband. She sure fucking did, because in 2 seconds, I'm going to take screenshots and throw them up on my Google Drive, because that's what I do here, because this is for only the geniuses. We should probably make sure that we have the right link. I'm not talking about this anymore because I'm having a secondary PTSD situation, and I just need to get through one meeting with one lawyer. And I'm not worried, because my name is incorrect on this document, which makes the whole case void. Okay, that's what I said. Oh, don't forget, Miss Dan better fucking prove it. I'm just going to just do this part. Yeah, sent at 10:15. Sure the fuck did. Let's put it on the thing. Let's just prove it. That, yeah, I'm preparing for my death. You sure the fuck are right. Because, like, wow, eh? Huh. Interesting turn of events here. Correct. This is an interesting turn of events here. Yes, select more photos. Yeah, you can have the very next thing. Oh, look, I don't even have to get up because my fucking statements are already on the fucking thing, but I'll decide. They're already up there. Double check that they're up there. Yeah, I did, because I told you even why I even put in what I would say back when they said these things. Okay, and I'm going to explain it to you because I have to tell you what they're saying about me and whatever. Okay, this is scary. Yeah, it is. It's scary that this can happen. That is what's scary. And I'm not panicking because I don't even have my last name correct. And no, you can't strip the rights of somebody if their name is not on this document. That's just not, that's out of order. You just can't. And if they go ahead, it's a gross overstep of my personal fucking freedoms. But I just have to appease one judge. One judge selected at random that's supposed to hear me and my lawyer talk to its Family and Children's Services and their asshole lawyer who doesn't even know how to spell check. Ken's like, you know what I'm saying? It's fine, right, babe? It's fine. You are going to have to hear, because Greg is going to come here and we're going to do it on this internet, because our internet at home for some reason is completely unstable. And yeah, it's unstable here too, but like, whatever, this is better. And he will do what I ask him to at this point. All the time. I know. Our Cogeco internet sure is having trouble right now when we get ours from Vaccine, because they are the most economic place. And for some reason, something is happening with the fucking cable lines that I just cannot seem to even, you couldn't even see your therapist. That's well documented. Totally fine. One thing at a time, right? Right now, I cannot get a doctor in Ontario, and that is why we are here dealing with this over here without Greg and his goddamn opinions, because we don't even have you in therapy right now. And you have to deal with this shit. Because I was abused and you assaulted and you watched it. And we aren't going to talk about that. Because I'm trying to indicate to Greg every single time I have to do anything about this fucking case, it's an assault on my human right of receiving due process, of having my fucking crime be heard in front of a court of law, instead of letting one asshole think that they can change my course of life forever because they fucked up and they don't know how to do anything. Well, that's not my fault. I acted perfectly, sir. So yeah, you're going to lose your job, and no cover-up's going to be big enough to sweep this under the rug. because Greta sent me and you made a deep fake of her. And so the worst thing you can do is that. And that doesn't scare me because I'm talking to the genius population before I ever have access to the shitty side of the internet. Because at some point I'll have said something on the backside that they're like, yeah, fuck you. And I'm teaching you how to not say anything if you don't have a lawyer. Like, that is not a hard thing to do. I am saying nothing. And he's just like, you're going to look crazy, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, you think that I can't handle myself in one fucking judge when I got out of a psych ward a whole day early, a day and a half early of my 3-day hold. You don't think I know what this system is built for and how I can prove it's not meant for me and then this is just an abuse of it? It's not hard to do because I'm not panicking because I know everything can be undone later because I know that's what I just did when I called the fucking ombudsman and had all my signatures taken away, which is funny because that's one of the things they're asking for. They're asking for me to have my psych forms back. Interesting. It is important when you receive your legal documents that you find the one thing in one document that indicates what the people who are calling the court want the court to do. Because that's all that the judge is going to look at. Don't look at anything else. It's just going to piss you off. And it's going to distract you. Because then if you're me and you're so good at being right, you're going to spend this whole weekend stressing out about this bullshit appointment. Because as soon as you start considering everything as appointment, every phone call is an appointment, every text message is an appointment, because that's what I'm going to say, that they've had plenty of access with Greg. And if they don't like it, then they can deal with it. Because our home has 2 parents. And just because you can't have access to me, you can have access to him. And he's saying I'm sick with a kidney infection, then that's what it is. And there's really no reason for you to think that I am crazy about it, because now you're telling me that he's crazy and I need to get him over there because he keeps thinking he failed me. And yeah, quite frankly, he did, but he did then. And now I just need him to get out of this mess because the things that happened then are still happening now. So I need my whole family to just relax. Yeah. And if I'm talking to the internet about how to explain this piece of shit, because I will absolutely be in court on Monday. Because what I'm saying is when the court demands your presence be in front of a judge, there's nothing you can do but show up. And if you do not show up, it looks like you are hiding, it looks like you're delinquent, and it shows that they are right, that you're right. You can't be accessed. So if I die between them and now, and all I have to do is send Greg, I'm still in trouble, right? So I just need to get fucking healthy today. That's totally fine. Charlie and I are going to bake twice. We're going to make cookies at some point and brownies. And I know I'm going to be able to eat both. Totally fine. I just need to keep fucking water inside me, get 8 fucking bottles of water in a day, and figure out how I'm going to be healthy enough at 10 o'clock in the morning. Because I just sat in my kitchen in front of my husband. Thank fucking God it's in the afternoon, because I don't even feel well enough until then. So that means I'm going to probably have to do what the gamers do, and I'm probably going to have to pull an all-nighter. Because when I pull an all-nighter, then I'll at least be healthy, and I know I can just get through this fucking thing. But the only problem is it's going to be late. We're going to be there all afternoon, and I know it. So I either need to be fucking pristine or know that I can get my shit together in like 2 hours of drinking water. And I usually can because I usually live stream it, but it usually is too fucking long. The really bad ones are like 5 hours or left. Anytime I have to talk about anything abusive, I have to talk a lot because I have a lot of proof. And if I have to just explain myself, I don't know what you're going to hear. So I'm just going to start with the things that make the most sense. And if they freak you out, then they freak you out. But in a court of law, you do not answer a question unless you're being asked it. You are just trying to prove you did not have time to get a lawyer. And if you did have time to get a lawyer, even if you can't afford it, even if you have to pull one out of your ass, or even one comes out of the woodwork saying, yeah, we would absolutely like to represent you in this court case. And you say, beautiful. Perfect. You know what? Because it doesn't matter. Because if we had a week, Greg would have found a lawyer for me. Because he would have been going his like, we're just going to dismiss this whole case because Greg's on it at all. And if he had to have it at the wrong address. And if they're going to make him responsible for these children, his address needs to be correct. Because he's happy to take these children on as a responsibility, but absolutely not at the cost of his house. Because this is not my house. And I'm putting it on record now. I don't live here. Greg does. We've switched right now because my stairs don't make any sense. They're not to code, and I'm trying not to die here of kidney failure. But no, the Family and Children's Services thinks they get to have my fucking attention first. Totally fine. Why do you think I have a case against Folk Arts? Because they also thought they could get my attention. But I learned after Manel thought they could get my attention. And no one wanted to hear I'm not feeling well. Because it's a human rights violation and I'm tired of it. This is okay, because this is like 8 level mad. This isn't even as mad as I was yesterday when I fucking had to watch Greta say 4 years ago that the children were done, and I realized it was them who got me through the internet. It was them who picked me, and I just happened to be saying every right thing at the exact every right time because I was fucking trying to save my own life. And so I am more angry then, knowing that it's this fucking easy to appease them, and nobody is. And it's just like, whatever. I will deal with the world in a minute because I just have to publicly deal with this teeny tiny fucking human rights violation in front of everybody. And I need to do it perfectly because I know that anybody can see. Anybody, you don't need law school to see that my name being incorrect is a little bit, will prove to the fucking one judge I have to see that my name is spelled incorrectly. So read your paperwork, but only read one of them. Pick one, pick the shortest one, because God knows that is exactly what your judge is going to be looking for as well. What do these people want is what he's going to say. What do these people want? So if they have an opinion already about either one of us, they're going to be like, now what do these people want? These Indigenous people, what do these people want? Or they're going to be like, now what does facts want? Now what do they have Miss Lady in here for? Let's hear. Or they could be like, new court. Let's see what the evidence is. What is happening here? This is just a first hearing. This is the first time I'm ever speaking to facts on record because the last time they tried to get a hold of me, I was sick in an emergency room. So it's fine. I just need to say, what is even this? This is out of order. Yeah, because all I need to say to indicate that is I didn't have time to receive a lawyer, because I can prove that because we just got this shit on Friday, because I bet you so did this fucking either this lawyer, if he's not the one who fucking filled it out. All I know is my rental unit, Deb, her fucking high horse put herself down as the landlord. If you don't think that whatever. When you misrepresent yourself on a legal document, it's terms for dismissal. Immediately, right? So like, it's fine. I'm not worried about anything in the law because I know I'm so correct in the law that I just have to show up and say that. And yeah, well, I thought I was going to get to use my fucking money for my malpractice lawsuit, which seems a lot more easy to prove, but it looks like I'm going to have to spend first my money on this, which means now we're going to go up to the police and we're going to get a settlement out of them if you let it go this far. Totally fine. All I have to do is not say anything. My body is trying to retch. My body is broken. Yeah, yours will be too. I threw up a lot last night. Large, loud throwing up. That's how my body gets rid of trauma. That's how it gets rid of abuse. Now that's terrifying if you're trying to make sure you keep enough water down. And the last time you were throwing up this bad, you had sepsis that no one would fucking identify. Totally fine. You don't now though. And I'm like, is this bad? Is this bad? Like I am spiraling out of control because I'm throwing up. And I'm just trying to say like, no, what's happening to you is unbelievable. And it's unreasonable. And you're being assaulted again and again by the same officer. So yes, it's fine. She's laughing because it's true. She watched it and eventually she's going to have to go through this too. But if I have my say, it'll be with a psychiatrist and a detective. So when she's recounting the information, it isn't a private conversation when your husband tells you he sunk your fucking rights as a human being. And I'm just like, trust me, don't worry about that. Cause yeah, you fucking didn't it? Yeah. And it's fine. And I just told him that that's pain and suffering for whatever that comes to. Don't even think that anybody's just surprised by anything that's about to fucking happen. My family knows exactly what's going on because I'm not an idiot and I'm not mad about anything, but I do know my priority is my own health. And I can't even talk to my husband right now without having a fucking anxiety attack, but I am. Because he's so sad because he thinks he failed me and he's Asian and he just knows how shitty as he's been. And I am super fucking sick. And I've said it again to him. I just need to drink 8 things of water. And the last time I used those exact words, he was yelling at me about reasons I was unable to request first aid. And that's on record. Because he was telling me that I made myself behave so crazy that I was not, that there was a reason for them to not withhold first aid. And I'm like, it's first aid. It's first fucking aid. And they only need you to go away from me because the only thing I need to do is drink my water. And no, I don't need his prep for fucking court on Monday morning. He needs to remember I just need to shut up. And his presence is just making sure I don't have an anxiety attack because I can sweet fucking talk anybody because I'm not crazy. And this is an abomination. And I just need to let this one fucking judge know that this is out of order. And from that point, if I can get this dismissed at that level because my name is incorrect on the front page of this fucking case, if you can dismiss it, then I save some money. Yay me. I got out of one more fucking assault, but I still have to maintain fucking good relations with facts. Whatever. Let me tell you what I have to agree. So you read your fucking paperwork. And it says the name of the court, Superior Court of Justice, Family Court. So yeah, whatever. They're just taking it to the Superior Court of the St. Catherine's level. Whatever they call it is what they call it. But Supreme Court is what's important. They can call it Superior Court if they want. Don't get scared. Look at where. It's at your local fucking courthouse. Your little city is not as big as you think they are. Yeah, keep it in perspective of who you're dealing with. Always got to know. Check the address. Always check the addresses. Always. It tells you everything you need to know. Yeah? That's why I need to go on record of saying my name is wrong and Greg's address is incorrect on this legal document. Because I will not allow this legal document to exist with Greg living at my address when he absolutely does not. Because I have to go to welfare soon, eventually. And I will be doing it before, or I will be doing it after, because I haven't done it yet. Looks like I have to go to court from Family and Children's Services before I can even reach welfare. Because it is more important to facts to check in on my parenting than allow me to pay my rent on time, which is perfect. Right? Because it's not like I have fucking Realstar itching to evict me and I'm trying to leave peacefully, but I can't do it until I have it fucking chimpanzees. Absolutely chimpanzees. Okay? So we read what it is. And when you realize St. Catherine's is fucking middle of nowhere bullshit and isn't making any news for anything it's doing currently because our freaking people can't even seem to access doctors. So you got to know St. Catherine's is just a joke. How do you know that St. Catherine's is just a joke? Well, we've already been told that the police here are out of control because dear Missy Ann told us that, and we have eyeballs, and also the fucking medical situation is out of hand. We know that because the medical system was able to take away Missy's rights already, saying she was crazy, and she was already had to prove that she wasn't. So whatever, they think that they're going to be able to prove with that whatever bullshit that they have in this envelope when they don't even have my name right. I mean, quite frankly, what are we even doing here? So remember, your city of wherever is nowhere, right? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. It is just fucking butt-fuck nowhere in the middle of fucking Niagara. No one cares about Niagara. They're all, in the future, they're already renouncing, not our Niagara. So I have to assume that our fucking court system might be equally fucking corrupt as every other system. But I do know that if I am giving the judge no reason to grant what they're asking, and all I have to say is I didn't have time to get a lawyer and my name is spelled incorrectly on this legal document, he has the ability to dismiss it at that. And then I never need to go into this because the next thing we do is get a lawyer and we start pulling all the fucking shit that they just said that they want from us. And we can be like, well, they're not having that, and I'm already doing all that. Okay, so read your thing, but don't read all of it. That's what I'm trying to say. I am not reading anything else. Because the only thing the judge is going to look at is this. Why would I brief myself on anything else? This was for my lawyer. Well, I don't have a lawyer, and I still don't have a lawyer, and I'm still not looking into these things. Because I've said that on the internet, and I said I don't have to because I just need to get out of this meeting that's being held out of order without a lawyer over it. And the worst thing I can say is I agree to this. So we can see from the beginning, we can see I have no court file here on the one thing the judge is going to grab. Totally fine. Totally fine. If they want to think that an incomplete legal document is appropriate, then they can go ahead if they want to. I'm just simply saying my name is not spelled MCMILLEN. It's spelled MCMMILLAN. So the person on this legal document doesn't even exist. And the person of this person doesn't live at this address because there's no fucking proof to prove that it is. In fact, my lease has only my name on it and he has a mortgage here. And I'm currently living here and he's over there. So like really we're separate. So what are you going to even prove here with your private investigators realizing holy fucking shit, right? You'd think that you'd want this a little quieter than this, but here I am live streaming it on YouTube. Guys, if you have this happen to you, this is what you do. You pick the smallest fucking thing. And this says notice of motion. And this is form 14. Okay, you see this? Form 14, notice of motion. So the motion is why you're there. Whatever is in this envelope, whatever, that is for the people to fucking decide, right? Because the judge is just going to decide face value if what is in this document is appropriate. Because then he'll be like, if I don't show up, they'll be like, clearly she's a wingnut. Absolutely you can. As my screen just continues to fucking go back and forth as if nobody's leaking in at the 1 hour mark. Totally fine. This is fine. Because I'm explaining to you guys, if you get a bullshit legal document, this is what you do with it. Because I'm inspired by Ruth Bader Ginsburg and she really wanted everybody to be able to protect themselves. It's not my fault you didn't put somebody with fucking sound mind into the Supreme Court and you don't think that you should. You just think that you should not have a fucking retirement age or a length of serving. I don't understand. Whatever. Quite frankly, it should be like 2 years or every year. And then every fucking year, we just decide via a poll if we're happy or not happy with our government. And if we're not year to year, then we can decide to call a fucking election based on our wishes. And then we'll pay for it. And only when we'll pay for it. Because we're not going to just fucking yeet you off the bus unless you fucking are driving it into a lake. Aren't ya? Totally fine. I just need on public, this is my private time. And this is how I'm using my private personal time. I'm live streaming my thoughts about this legal document on the internet. And it is my right to do so. And I can sit here chirp, chirp, chirping all day long. But what I say happened and what they were able to do with like 24 hours of having this fucking hand delivered to Greg at my house at 3:30 yesterday, Friday afternoon. We're going to have this hand delivered with fucking paper clips, no less. Not even staples, because paper clips don't even count. They must be stapled together. That's a technicality, and that's like law 101. So if Ashley Millen likes fucking paper clips because they look a little better, you got to know there's a difference between a regular file and a legal file, because people do not want to file paper clips. So this is irritating to everybody you just sent this to, because we cannot file this with paper clips on it. So everybody you just gave this to, which is apparently just me and me at my address with the wrong name on it, and Greg at my address with the wrong address on it. And we only got one copy. So did Alistair even get one? By the way, his name is spelled wrong. First name spelled wrong, last name spelled wrong with no known address. As if that doesn't help my case to indicate that the facts can't even find him. And he is fucking delinquent on his child support by several years after the rich family plunked my kids out of private school because my ex-husband started knocking up everybody on the planet. And my rich shipping baron fucking family decided that they weren't going to pay for his shit anymore. And we were all going to fend for ourselves, which is usually fine because I'm a smart cookie. But like, read your fucking legal document, but not all of it. Don't read all of it. Just read part of it. Because when you know what they are asking the judge for on the day you go in, you know how to handle yourself. Because you're just going to say, no, I don't agree. I haven't had a lawyer even look at this document, and my name is spelled wrong. And Greg's address is incorrect. So from there, you need to highlight everything that is incorrect. Yeah? And I will tell you what's highlighted. You don't need to see it. I'm going to put it on my Google Drive. Because if this happens to go missing, I don't have a fucking... I do actually have a photocopier here. Why, yes, I do. Perfect. Fantastic. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to use it. And I'm just going to fucking copy all of this shit so Greg can at least have a proper copy, because he's supposed to have his own copy because he's listed as a separate respondent and he wasn't given one. So not only did him and I both receive just one copy, even though we're both listed as a defendant, because quite frankly, we do live at separate addresses and we have right to our own legal consult. Totally fine. Totally fine. I will have a lawyer to help me with this shit. I don't need to explain everything. I'm just going to try to get this dismissed on the fact that they didn't even get my name right. So if they can't even get my fucking name right, then what else can I even believe is happening in here? I've already indicated that this whole thing is because I was assaulted by the NRP and this is just a big cover up. And I'm not acting crazy and my husband's melting down, but I surely am not. Because I have understood that this has been coming since August. Soon as it fucking happened, I've been just trying to keep this shit straight. Keep myself out of fucking harm's way. And I can't even seem to do that. Because every time I have to deal with the NRP, I have an anxiety attack. Wonderful. Greg thinks it's a bad thing for me to say I'm going to have an anxiety attack if the judge makes me go ahead without a lawyer, as if I'm not going to have everything thrown out of court, that I said everything that I said in an anxiety response. And I told you that I was having one, so how didn't you know? Because he thinks that by me saying it, I'm acting it. But no, I'm not. I'm just saying I am in an anxiety attack because I am not equipped to deal with this yet, because I cannot access a doctor in Ontario. Hello to the one person watching. Feel free to let me know you're here. I'm super, super happy. I'm just discussing with the kids exactly what you should and should not say to a judge if you're forced to be in front of one when you do not have time to get a lawyer. And just like the fucking best lawyers on TikTok lawyers save the day, and they say, keep your fucking mouth shut. That's what you do. If you ever find yourself in front of authority and you find yourself in front of a bullshit judge, you say fucking nothing. And you just answer the questions as honestly as you can, because you got to know everything you say is on public fucking record. And anything that you say may be held against you in the court of law that you're standing in, even if you do not have a lawyer. So you just say nothing. You're just trying to get out of that in time to find a lawyer. And as long as I don't look crazy in the 2.5 seconds this is going to take, because I was able to convince my actual psychiatrist I wasn't crazy and I was being assaulted. And that's on record. Wait till you see what they're asking for. Wait till you see what they're dragging me in court on my deathbed while live streaming in front of everybody, what they want from me. How to read your forms. And I haven't even properly read it once. I'm just skimming it. It pisses me off so much. But I'm skimming it here, live streaming on YouTube with one person watching, no people now. It's totally fine. Everything is totally fine, guys. For the fucking gifted class on my Chromebook from the fucking DS, like my Chromebook is live streaming to YouTube from a Chromebook that I have set up with the email address that the DSPN leaked in August. And you don't think there's a single person listening to me when I leaked it myself with at least the fucking union guys. Because at least if I thought, well, who would want to know if their fucking kids just had all their fucking privacy just destroyed by the fucking one teacher with an axe to grind because he doesn't want to do his work. And that's fine. Do your work. That's fine. But you can't abuse my child pretending it's work. I don't think so. And when I caught that, that was fine. But I don't have any help from my Ontario government because they don't give a shit about what is wrong with their fucking software. Totally fine. I'll get there. But I have to level it one person at a time. Like I have such strong legal case and I have such strong ability to control my emotions. I think the last place my husband ever wants to see against beside me is against on the other side of me as in a courtroom. And he seems to find himself on my side for some reason. That's an interesting fucking out of order experience, but that's fine. This is what Family and Children's Services says I must do for them to let me parent my own children. Whatever. I don't really understand why there are so many children falling through the cracks and my daughter's falling through the cracks and everybody wants a front row seat to the abomination that is the treatment of my daughter by the government system. I'm just trying to get her in therapy, the therapy that she's been prescribed 3 times, the therapy school she was not permitted to receive because she also finds herself on a waiting list. But I didn't know there were only 8 spots for all children in Niagara. Totally fine. The principal told me that there was a waiting list and I threatened legal action because there's a way around a waiting list. And I thought Family and Children's Services were supposed to help me with that. No, she's not currently in school. She's currently on a wait list for Pathstone. And no, they weren't currently able to get her in. Yo, I did ask for them at Ashley Millen's first appointment. Yes, I did. With my Indigenous advocate. Yes, I did ask them to help me report this crime. Yes, I did. It is on record. Yes, they do know about the assault of my real estate agent or my real estate professional that is responsible for taking care of my home. Yes, I did tell them. Yes, I did ask them to help me to report a crime. Why, yes, I did say it was for my daughter and not myself. Yes, no, they didn't do anything. Correct. And then I ended up in the hospital with worsening conditions. Why, yes, that is what happened and what my lawyer will find. And yes, they will see that they were out of order. And then when I get a second to get my fucking lawyer to look at this fucking police report and finish getting the fucking surveillance footage, because I've already called. I've already tried to get it. Because I thought if I could get the police report and a copy of it, I could go talk to a psychiatrist on my own dime and I can discuss what it was and I can figure it out. Because BetterHelp stopped being fucking helpful as soon as they talked to Greg and found out I had a psychiatric break. But my medical documents indicate that no, I did not have a psychiatric break. I was prescribed olanzapine for sleeping, but I didn't need it. And I had been prescribed it by Dr. Shetty, not what's her face, because she asked me whatever I had that day. And she said, the person in front of me is not crazy. So whatever that they did yesterday, they can have. That's why Dr. Shetty gets to lose her license, because she tried to prescribe me an antipsychotic because I wouldn't look her in the eyeballs, according to the 2 video surveillances watching me in my holding cell. I refused to look at her in the eye because she refused to use proper nouns. She kept asking me, and I will say, and she will have to corroborate because this is exactly what happened. She was asking me about my family history. And she was saying, does she have a history of alcoholic abuse? My 14-year-old daughter, she's 13 actually. Yes, she is possible to have a substance abuse issue because yes, it does start that early. But no, not my daughter in the other room in psych. But my mother does. Who are you talking about? My family history. Because I know you're trying to see if I'm crazy. And I'm just trying to indicate my daughter is currently on a psych hold herself. And she was like, well, I see that you're not making any eye contact with me. And basically, you're not being helpful. Well, I'm not being helpful because you're getting mad at me because I don't understand your questions. Because I'm a little fucking under some stress here. And if you can't ask me a simple fucking question, I'm not going to be able to give you a simple fucking answer. If you ask me a question that doesn't make sense, I'm going to ask a follow-up question. Because I fucking know everything I say is on record either way. And she's going to say, yes, I was I was being difficult. I wasn't answering her questions. No, I wasn't. And I'm saying the questions didn't make any sense. And that's fine. You can see what happened there. Because then she prescribed me olanzapine because my daughter was on it in the other room. And she was responsible for talking to us both. I'm not going to let my daughter tell me what happened to her. All I can say is what happened to me. And it's fine. It's totally fine. Because she prescribed me the olanzapine that my doctor 2 seconds later was gung-ho to make me stop taking because it causes pituitary gland infections. Well, my daughter has been on it for 6 months. Could somebody maybe want to check in with me about her overall health, mental and physical? But no, nobody's watching me at 1:11. 1:11, 1 hour and 11 minutes in, and nobody's watching me, even though my fucking screen just scribbled again on my Canadian Bell internet. It's fine. Read your paperwork. It's not that scary as long as you remember you didn't even have time for a lawyer. And you're going to get mad. And you're going to be like, what the fuck? I know. Because remember, I just have to talk to one judge. And I just have to tell one judge I didn't have time to get a lawyer. And then I have a lawyer deal with it. But if they're going to make me go through this thing without a lawyer, I need to know what they're going to read. Because they are going to read everything. Probably somebody will be. Because if they're not going to read it out loud, the judge is going to read it himself. And he's going to say, what should happen is he's going to be like, okay, you don't have a lawyer here today. Do you want one? And I'm going to say, yes, absolutely. I do want a lawyer. This was hand delivered to me on Friday before I even had a chance to speak to my husband. I'm here at fucking 10 a.m. And of course we would like a lawyer. My name isn't spelled correctly on this document. Nothing is going to be able to be proved. I just need to get out of this one conversation without losing my life. And I know that I can't actually lose my life in a courtroom. They're not even asking. My connection is unstable. Absolutely not a fucking stable fucking thing here in Bell Internet. There's a problem, but nobody's watching me. I just happen to have no fucking actual fucking internet right now. It's totally fine. I got to take some water. This is fine. This is something I actually have to deal with. Actually, this is something I am actually being summoned to deal with right now. And I cannot even tolerate food. And I have to show up to court and not have an anxiety attack. And I might show up just the fucking like this. I'm not feeling well. I am sick and I am trying to access a doctor in Ontario and I can't seem to do that because I still can't call a family doctor. I still can't say, hey, I need to get better like overnight. And no, I have to do that myself because there's no fucking physicians here. So I don't know. Best I can. All I can do is my best because you guys might not have the ability to control your emotions. So you guys just need to know how bad it can get because yeah, I anticipate dying. This is just testimony. This will be what I film before Monday and I say what I say to a judge because I'm teaching you why I'm not going off about all that shit. Because at the end of the day, if you can catch him on a technicality, the judge wants to do as little work as possible. He is happy to say facts. You didn't even do your fucking research on her name. I can't do anything if she can prove her name is wrong. So this is just dismissed and you guys have to try again. That's what should happen. If I can keep my cool and I can say only what I need to say and I can give the judge every chance that I can to just dismiss it, because this is how I operate. I say, this is illegal. And you say, I don't care. And I'm like, are you sure? And they say, I don't care. And I'm like, are you really, really sure? And they say, I don't care. And I'm like, well, okay. Tomorrow I'm going to have a fax. I'm going to have a lawyer fucking have a copy of this hearing so fucking fast. It's not going to be hard to prove I asked for a lawyer and didn't receive one in front of a judge. And I have to have hope that the system actually works. And the judge will be like, your name isn't even spelled right. I can't even do anything if you can't even get the name right. Judge Judy, right? She's Judge Judy. That's what I'm dealing with. This is basically divorce court or Judge Judy, right? This means nothing. No internet again. No internet again. Saturday morning at 9:14, I am 1 hour and 15 minutes and 58 seconds into my live stream on YouTube, and I'm having internet issues with Canada. I'm tired. I didn't sleep last night. I shook all night. I knew I needed to. And I just listened to my own content in my ears because it is the only thing that can calm me down right now is watching me explain emotions to my daughter in an emotional fucking collapse. At the same time, I'm teaching the internet how to not riot. At the same time, facts is personally hand delivering this thing saying I'm crazy. And I'm just like, whatever. You think you can prove what you can prove, but you only have in the court of law documents, emails, medical records. You should see what they're asking on because it's my reputation and I can catch them on a technicality if you can. It's the easiest way for a judge to say, well, my personal fucking, I am not having my reputation put on a case this egregious because if you can easily prove your name is spelled incorrectly, it's really not going to be hard to prove every single other thing in this thing is wrong. And I'm going to let you have a lawyer and I'm going to let you and facts handle this between the two of you. And that'll happen. Considering, yes, facts should be here, but they should also be helping me report a crime or 2 or 3 or 10 or 8. They're not doing anything. That's fine. They can come in here and do big song and dance about seeing my voluntary fucking whatever. And every time this bitch is supposed to walk into my house and say, perfectly clean, happy, compliant. That's what her last record says. They're going on a police report that doesn't matter because I'm going to have it thrown out because it is the basis of the proof of my attack. Whatever. You think I'm looking out for just fucking me here. I'm not. I'm not looking out for blood. And if I haven't been as smart as I have said I was, I wouldn't have the fucking, I have better proof. Oh my God. So read your fucking paperwork. Dear Miss Deanne, this is how much it's going to take because I'm going to only have fucking 30 seconds in front of a judge. I'm not going to have an hour. I'm not going to have time to get this angry to explain why I'm angry. They don't care. Everybody who's in court is angry. That's why you're supposed to get a lawyer because your lawyer's supposed to be able to do the talking for you. Because if you appear emotional, you will tell. That's your tell. If you do not have the ability to control your emotions, you will never get out of anything. And as long as you remember, I'm talking to fucking Judge Judy. And I have to assume every judge is just hired by this fucking legal system and they're just doing their shit. They just want to get out of work today. And I can tell you at every level of every organization, we are just tired of being bogged down with frivolous fucking. We're tired of it. We're tired of saying no. You got us here and I said no. So now the fucking Family and Children's Services Unit and RioStar are bogging down our legal system. And if fucking whatever his face says he has more than one fucking person in the same courtroom, it's not going to be hard to prove a pattern. Because if I was a man, somebody would have already offered me a job. But because I'm a woman and I'm angry, I get nothing. Nobody wants to watch this unfold. Not even the smartest gamers that I've been talking about fucking respecting a little better this whole time. Or the Leaf fans or the people pissed off with their boss in general. And I'm just saying, who do I work for? I don't think I work for the government, but why do I have to come here? Why do I have to go into a bank to access my own money? I fucking passed my phone number, but for some reason that wasn't enough to prove out the country. Because what? My government records make it look like I've already fled, and you don't want to. My government records would indicate to somebody that I'm living in China right now. I bet. And they don't want to pay fucking EI to somebody who doesn't live here. Joke's on you. I'm just too sick to show up anywhere. Too sick to use my debit card. I'm too sick to get a job. I'm too sick to do anything. And that next place I have to go is welfare and explain that to them. Because I need to not look crazy in every single conversation. And the person I'm talking to doesn't need to know everything. Because if they start to know everything, they're going to get scared when they realize how fucking massive what I'm saying is. Trust me. But as long as I know the only thing that really fucking matters is my getting out of this fucking courtroom, I can send Greg if I have to. If I get magically picked up between then and now, he can just show up and say, I didn't have time to get a lawyer. My wife is too sick to show up because they don't need to know that I'm already in the hands of the actual fucking government trying to undo this goddamn mess. And he'll show up and he'll just be like, my address is incorrect here. No, Misty Ann is not here today, but my address is here. Because as respondents, we all have our own fucking court. Yeah, so all he needs to do is prove that he doesn't live there, and he can do that with a piece of mail, and he's going to do that from his own fucking house. Whether I'm here or not doesn't really matter. But what matters is you read your court documents, but you don't read everything, and you understand that this shit is for your lawyer. And if you're only given like what's 3:30? 3:30 is when the text message came in to indicate that our fucking appointment was at fucking noon. All right. So I thought we had 3:30. So we'll round up to 4 to 5, 1 business hour on Friday, plus to 9 to 10 to 11 to 12. 5 business hours between when we received this document in writing at our door to when we are seeing this judge. 5 business hours. 5. And I find out it's 10 and not 12, and it's actually not only 5, but it's 1. All right. Totally fine. Read your fucking paperwork, but not everything. Greg read everything, and now he's feeling like shit, and that's his own choice. But I'm not reading it. It doesn't matter what it says, because I'm going to have this whole fucking thing thrown out on the fact that my name is spelled incorrectly. And this will be on my Google Drive as soon as I fucking figure it out. Because I have to read it once, and then I'll put it there. So, you see how, okay, when you're looking at your document, and you will see that there are boxes. And if there are any boxes missing and things are not filled out fully, the judge is going to be like, wait a minute. Because if this is what the Family and Children's Services box looks like, and it's all properly filled out with all of their information, and then you look at what my box is filled out, like that doesn't even seem to be the same thing as what's here for me. It certainly doesn't seem to be the same thing here for Greg. And it certainly doesn't seem to be the same thing for my delinquent husband who fled the country. And then if you look over here, this is where all of their lawyer information is. And look how much information that they have to put in for the lawyer to declare that that is the lawyer for the Family and Children's Service. And then you look at my lawyer information, right? And then you're going to see that this case is stacked against me. You can literally see that. This seems to be inappropriate, and I've highlighted it all, which means it's all incorrect information. And this is a legal form that is asking the court to say, based on what you've provided in this fucking envelope, okay, so the judge is going to get this, and it says to the person making the motion or the person's lawyer must contact the clerk of the court by telephone or otherwise to choose a time and date when the court could hear this motion. So they've already done that. They've decided to the parties, the court will hear a motion on November 29th, 2021 at 10 a.m. Yes, I just did say that's 1 hour business hours to notice. I know, trust me, but I'm just looking at one judge who's seeing this for the first time, right? Just like me. And I'm just gonna be like, listen, I want a lawyer and I can't seem to access, I didn't even have time to get one. We just got this fucking Friday night and here we are fucking Monday morning and he in court. And we did, clearly we don't have a lawyer and we would like one and my name's not even spelled incorrectly. And at that point he'll be like, yeah, you're right. This does look like a big piece of shit. Totally fine, right? Okay. At 10 a.m. or as soon as possible after that time at place of hearing, 59 Church Street, St. Catharines, Ontario, by way of virtual hearing. This motion will be made by Children's Aid Society of the Niagara Region. So that's their official name, Children's Aid Society, not Family and Children's Services of Niagara, which is interesting. Because they're operating under FACS, Family and Children's Services of Niagara. That's what it says on their building. So is it the Children's Aid Society of the Niagara Region? Because that's what their building should say. You know what? This is why you say nothing. Because you're just talking shit, right? And you're just picking it apart now because I'm petty. And I'm petty. And just trust me when I say I'm petty. And I have internet issues again. But it's my timer is still continuing, so I'm going to continue to go. The only time I stop is when it pops gray. Usually that's when the Ontario government shows up, and it's usually the fucking people that I'm trying to fucking throw under the bus. And they're just like, oh my God, they're talking about us again, and it's bad. And then they just run away like scared people. It's like, fuck. It's totally fine. Nobody's even watching this. This is just testimony I'm leaving for my children because I expect to be dead before I get to get this resolved. I don't have the amount of time that the legal system takes, and the government of Canada is going to let me die in front of everybody on the internet because I can't access a doctor, not even in Toronto, when this bitch messages me asking for my appointment and my time. And I'm just like, I'm just dying here. And nobody even believes me. Trust me, no one believed me. And then the next fucking 2 days later, I had to go back with worsening conditions, which just solidifies my fucking lawsuit on Dr. Noor. But I only have no money, but Greg has enough to get a lawyer because you got to know he would absolutely not choose a fucking crazy person twice. And there's a reason why he's so loyal to me. Because I will absolutely not let this continue because we are almost at a point where his son can move in with him. And I'm not letting fucking assault of the fucking Niagara Regional Police let that man not get his child back. Because like I am just fucking tap dancing here trying to keep everything as fucking appropriate as possible and only say facts. Facts. That's FACS, again, Family and Children's Services of Niagara. FACS. Facts. I'm just going to start saying facts now. And I'm not even going to say facts unless I'm really angry. Because facts are facts. And apparently the Children's Aid Society of the Niagara Region is their legal name. And that's how I noticed that they have the same address here. So I know that this guy is just down the hall. I've said that already, right? So we can put it in perspective. Yes, it feels like an assault on your fucking life. It is. It is, in fact, exactly that. And it can be shown in court after. But your job is not to save the world. Your job is to endure the abuse of the system. And then you'll prove it after that it was just abuse and you're just going to take it down. It's totally, totally fine. But if you lose your fucking cool in front of a judge, you will have no cools left. Yeah? Okay, you can't get mad no matter what they say. Right? So this motion, okay, who will be asking, and okay, so the Children's Aid Society who will be asking the court for an order of the items listed on page 2 of this notice. A copy of the affidavit, brackets S, in support of this motion is or are served with this notice. A notice of case conference is served with the notice in exchange and change in order. So whatever. They're saying that we're going to ask you, this is what this says. This is what this legal document says. This says we're going to ask this judge, we're coming to talk to this judge because we can't get eyes on this woman and we want eyes on her. So we are already, what we're going to do is we're going to ask you, these people are asking the following things from these people, right? And I'm going to say, I don't have a lawyer. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to say that my name is incorrect. Because when you fill out a form, it says for office use only. This is kind of that thing. Because the reason why you can't write there is because whatever has to go in that office use only area is it's got to be something very important because it's a legal document, right? If it says for office use only, that means it's a contract of some kind and you need to not fucking write in there. Like I can't doodle in this box. There should be my legal representative in this box, right? We can't put anything there that's not my legal representative, which is why it's blank because we just had this hand delivered to us with fucking paper clips as if that's at all a legal protocol. It's totally fine. If you want to oppose this motion or to give your own views, you should talk to your own lawyer and prepare your own affidavit. Serve it on all other parties and file it at the court office later, not 4 days before the date above. Only written and affidavit evidence will be allowed at a motion unless the court gives permission for oral testimony. You may bring a lawyer to your motion. Okay, well, I cannot get a lawyer with 1 hour notice. I'm not even reading this until the next day because I was projectile vomiting because of what the police report says they said happened. And I can't look at it because that's the basis of everything. I'm still live streaming, but apparently no internet here. It's totally fine. Okay. The only thing I will be able to speak upon is this form because this is the motion. So when you're going through your legal documents, when this happens to you, you have to, first of all, what I did, contact your Indigenous advocacy group in your area. It is a law. They must give it to you. I already have one. I actually have two, but I don't have quick access to Bev. Bev has quick access to Greg because he told me that they want me to come to some Thanksgiving or whatever, and I would love to go. Oh, it's a Christmas thing, but I can't walk. He's like, I don't think she's going to be healthy enough to go, but maybe I'll bring the kids. Absolutely, please do. Yes, he will. If I can live through this fucking court, he will take her. And we will go, and I will go when I'm healthy enough. Of course, I'm just so happy to be with the community that just found me. Because they're already said they're going to help me find my original band, which I don't know because my father wasn't, my biological father, who I haven't seen since I was fucking 18, and I only found him once because I looked in the fucking phone book and got lucky. You do understand how hard it is to find people, and I just found mine easy, and I just found it, and I was able to realize that, oh my God, I dodged a bullet, and I just stayed away from it, but all I got was my Indigenous heritage from you, and I just need my one father, Jeff Fenton, born in 9 or 7, I can't remember what my mom wrote down, but you're my actual dad. You're my actual dad. The person that they're saying is my dad is my mother's first husband after I was born. Like, yeah, he's my dad. I call him my dad, just like I call my husband, but we're not legally married. And my father is not legally never has been my guardian. In fact, he asked to adopt me when I was 8. And I said no, in case my real dad came back, which probably hurt his feelings. And I've always felt sorry about it. But like, it is what it is. I didn't want to be adopted. I wanted to find where I came from. And when I did, I realized I didn't want to know that person, but I did know I wanted to know about my Indigenous heritage. Because from what I can see from pictures when I was a teeny tiny girl, it used to be very important to my father, the time that he had with me, until whatever, my father and my mother agreed that he would not be in my life anymore. And it made my life easier for whatever reason it was. But the decision was made for me by my mom, who I had access to and who I didn't have access to. And that is my mom's problem now, is she does not have access to anything. She doesn't even have access to me. Nobody has access to me unless you demand that I crawl out of my deathbed and show up in front of a judge. And the last people who tried it was Real Star. And I just sent in Greg alone without any fucking briefing. I'm just like, whatever. And he's like, where was all this paper? I need it. Well, you didn't need it. If you got out of it, fine. So don't fuck with me. Whatever, you might have had to look a little confused, but that's just because I refuse to pay for a lawyer to fight the fact that you can't evict somebody because they're late. And the more pregnant I look, the worse it is for everybody because they're watching me, because they're making sure I'm not packing up and leaving in the middle of the night because they think that's their worst fucking problem. Meanwhile, I'm still trying to get to a detective about the sexual assault of a Real Star superintendent against my daughter, like a week before all this shit happened. Like, I am a little bit busy dying here because I don't have a doctor to help me, right? Okay. So we know that this says basically all you're going to do is they're going to discuss these wishes. Yeah. So you know this is a big piece of shit, and you just know you're just going to have it thrown out all over the place. Okay. And then you have to look at this, because then he's going to do, and you look here, this says court file number, and there's nothing. Why would they put it there if they don't have to put it on the front of this document? Why would you not need this file number on every single piece of information. You do. That's a technicality, but I'm not even mentioning that. All I'm going to do is indicate that I don't have a lawyer and my name is spelled wrong. And I'm going to give the judge every attempt to look through this shit, and then they can ask me questions if they want, or they can just let me go because they're just like, get a lawyer. That's what should happen. But there is a chance that this judge is going to take an interest in this case, and he's going to ask me some questions. And in the event of that, I have prepared some statements, because I am not making any statements without my lawyer. So anything that I do say better be fucking accurate, because I know that I'm going to have it all thrown out eventually, but I need to get through this court hearing, right? Okay, so we're going to put that away now. And now we're going to discuss, and Charlie's going to hear for the very first time exactly what they're asking for. Yeah, so on this page, you see information from my Fax's lawyer. It says, Chris Etherton, legal counsel of the Children's Aid Society of Niagara Region at 82 Hanover Drive, box 24028, St. Catharines, Ontario, L2R 7P7. This means that this isn't even Ontario saying that I'm crazy. This is just one organization demanding something of me in the time they want me to take to do it. Whatever, I can't help if I'm sick. I really can't. Okay, and this is signed the 18th of November. Okay, what date is it today? This is the 27th. It's a Saturday, the 18th of November. I'm just going to look on my phone here because I need to see with my eyeballs. Actually, you know what? Since I'm here, I'm going to put these up so you guys can see them too. Okay, these are the most important ones, and I'm going to send them to Greg as well. Wow, I'm having trouble using my fucking phone. Anybody want to answer me why? Oh, I don't know. Fucking, I have no idea. Maybe I need to get a new phone. Good thing it's sitting on the fucking counter. I just don't have time to deal with it yet. Okay, I'm going to send these to Greg first, and I'm just going to say these are the most important things that we need to understand that we're discussing, and nothing else. Okay, the judge isn't going to look at this envelope, because how court works is when you say, you know, that you have to imagine this, that this judge I'm about to talk to has absolutely no idea what's going on here. He's just showing up for work today, right? Just like Mitch Marner taking a fucking puck to his teeth, and then the entire fandom saying like, do a better job. And he's just like, whatever, I just showed up to work today. So it's really important is I don't attack this judge, because if I'm angry, they'll just be like, oh my God, I dismissed. But like, it's important that I keep my cool, because if I can be cool, I always try to be cool, because I know the cool kids are watching me. And I know Zuck is watching me, and it's going to be public. It's going to be on this fucking public thing. And if I actually have to go, I will be fucking on. First time anybody's seen Dear Misty Ann in person on record is going to be this shit. And I'm just like, whatever. Because on record, also not in court, I've said I've got kidney failure and no doctors want to help me with that. So it's absolutely fine. I just need to get through this one fucking thing. And it shows his phone number. I'm going to actually get this, call this to Greg. I'm just going to send them just so you know. This is page 1. This is page 2. This is the only thing we are discussing on Monday morning. The judge isn't even going to look in the envelope, because he doesn't care about proof. He cares about evidence. And my name is incorrect. Not one name is correct. And they didn't spell one single surname correctly. Because you were a respondent on this case, you should have received your own copy. We can both have lawyers, separate lawyers. We have separate addresses. I'm going to try and figure out the brother photocopier, and I'll get you a copy of this for your own records. You need to keep it with the stuff in your box beside your bed with all of the Dr. Noor situation I've already provided you. Nothing else. I gotta help him. Nothing else even matters. And we will have this form thrown out like the eviction proceedings. And this case will go away. It's against the law to file this on, what did I just say it was filed? When did I just say it was filed? November 18th, and only give this to us yesterday. We are being attacked again by the Niagara Regional Police. Alarms to let me know I'm okay. We are being attacked by the Niagara Regional Police for a second time. And trust me, it's fine because we don't have a lawyer and we can prove that we were not provided evidence, provided notice of this hearing without even one business day to contact our lawyer. Have fun at the gym. I'm just not even dealing with it. I'm not dealing with anything because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read what they're saying that I must agree. The worst thing that I can do is agree to this. Okay. Because I might get heated, and do you think you could do me one solid favor? Or no, Sid? I just need you to go get me my notebook that's over there, because I have if I cannot get this thrown out right away because my last name isn't correct and my first name is incorrect and Greg's address is incorrect and Alistair's first name is incorrect and Alistair's last name is incorrect and there's no provided address for him. Greg's address is wrong and they didn't get my first child's name correct and they used a preferred name instead of a legal name, as if that's not the fucking point here of the entire LGBTQ plus community. It's like, if it's allowed to be used here and it seems to be totally fine, why can't it be used at the hospital? If it's a legal document, it doesn't at all matter. And so you got to remember, thanks, babe, I'm just talking to one judge. Yeah? Judge Judy. And I'm just thinking about it, Judge Judy. And I just need to be like, hey, want to help me here? I just need to get out of here because they didn't even give me a lawyer. And if they have a sense of humor, they'll be like, oh my God, this is a disaster. right? Judges are good people. You'd think that, unless they're skewed one way or the other, and then you can't help that. But as long as you have a plan for if your human rights are attended to, like if they are observed, and if they're not, I have a plan both ways. Because I'm going to say the state, okay, so after this, and they tell me how long ago they signed this up, and they didn't even give it to me, as if that's not a human rights violation. Yes, baby. Please do. Could you bring me one too? Because maybe it'll help. I told Greg I would try to have a muffin today. And no matter what, I have to get healthy enough to show up to court on Monday, because for some reason I thought I was going to work last Monday. But here I am fucking working the system, doing it the hard way because the government of Canada wants to watch the world end. It's totally fucking fine. One thing at a time, as if I'm not live streaming this abuses to nobody for no reason. It's totally fine. Everything is fine. What else will it be? Like, it is what it is. And I'm not panicking about it, because like I have rights as a person. And I know that Judge Judy, when I talked to her on Monday, is absolutely not going to be taking away my kids. They're not even asking for it. And that is the worst thing that they can do. They are not even asking for them to live with any of the other fathers that are on this list. They've listed 2. And my biggest concern is that fucking the McMillan clan is going to get wind that I'm nuts and come over here and try to get my kids out of me. My son is 15 and he doesn't have to go anywhere he doesn't want to go. But my daughter is only 13, and we're in a little bit of a situation here with no doctors in Ontario. It's almost like I'm saying something here. So only thing I'm going to say when I get to the, thanks, babe. See, the only thing I'm teaching my daughter to say when you're being forced to see a judge without enough time to get a fucking lawyer is say nothing. And the TikTok lawyers told me that. Keep your fucking mouth shut. Keep your fucking mouth shut. Keep your fucking mouth shut. Because if I start fucking picking away at this fucking evidence, I will get nowhere, and I will get nowhere fast. Yes, ma'am. You sure can. Yeah, take a moment. This is stressful for you, and this is happening during our fucking therapy week, and it's totally fine. As women, we handle it. We just handle it. Because if it was up to the men, we would all be dead. All right, frankly. Best thing I ever did was ask that officer how I got on the floor. At least I knew what was in the fucking, at least I knew what was coming. Oh my God. You think that's hard to prove? Even if you don't have me fainting in front of him on actual, it's in a blind spot, everything else is correct. And I ended up in a psych ward. So if I'm not lying about being in a psych ward because I had a renal infection, even if you don't see him pull his gun on me, and I'm telling you he had his Anna's gun and he didn't pull it, and his partner was right there, and everyone was watching and no one knew what to do. My daughter was screaming, like, even if you can't see any particular one thing, I have documented it in such a way that it is absolutely, you can just assume it's fact, because every single thing I'm saying happened, and it can be corroborated by the fucking thing. And I've already filmed it, and it's in the event of my dad so that he can put up a malpractice lawsuit, because that's the only way we can afford to pay rent. But if I die, Greg will just move him and the kids right fucking here, and he will just stay here. It won't be happy and it won't be fun, but like, at least they'll be safe. Because nobody seems to understand that air quality is an issue. And I think there's a problem in my townhouse. But Greg is not even hearing me anymore. He is just melting down as a human being, because he just for the first time saw my fucking assault in writing. And I'm not even looking at it, because I cannot maintain calmness if I'm angry. And I'm angry, but I'm so angry, it turns me into PTSD, because it's like every time you have to be reminded of what happened to you, you're angry that it happened at all. That's PTSD. And you're just like, I'm just mad. And I'm so mad, I don't know what to do with it, because it's like my body is just disagreeing. Your fucking mind says this memory is unsafe, and your body's like, I know, right? And it's just like a thing, and it's totally fine. I fucking projectile vomited last night and then shook. I was still up at 3 o'clock in the morning listening to my own content when my fucking AirPods died.
You know when you
Mm-hmm.
if you were on the ground, you were making that same noise.
That was the same noise that I was making when I was on the ground. That same loud vomit. Okay.
It made me like
Sad. Yeah, it made you remember it. Yeah, I know. That's trauma, honey. I was attacked, and that's totally fine. That is what happened to me. That is a fact, and facts aren't scary. And I'm still being attacked, and I've been attacked every fucking day that I've even fucking woken up still not dead. And this is just something I endure now. It's totally fine. I'm broken. My emotions are broken. I'm not allowed to own them myself. They're in jail. I'm only allowed to give you what I'm allowed to give you. Emotional jail. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? I have emotions, and I need to go through them so I can figure out what to do about this. And I can't seem to say anything without Greg going into a tailspin.
is he's trying to tell me what to say. And I'm just like, you are so off base that I can't even handle your shit right now. And I'm not really, I just told him some good information. Oh, I do need to put. Perfect. Yeah, called my family doctor as soon as I was assaulted by the NRP, and he ordered a talk screen because he said I sounded manic, and that sentence doesn't even make any sense. Can't be manic from drugs, and you don't sound manic if you're angry or worried. It's manic as if like all of a sudden everything is fine, and usually people don't find themselves in a waiting room or an emergency room. Let's get this up. Oh, put this on the charger. I'm so angry. I just can't. Oh, did I already? Yeah, they're already there. Oh, I put them up there last night, it looks like. Or they uploaded twice. Either way, I'm happy for it. Yeah, it was fine. Okay, so they filed this on the 18th of November, and we received it Friday. So that is a very clear indication that my rights are not being observed here for some reason. Now, I don't know what social worker, if any, are going to be showing up with Chris Etherton. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly who they're allowed to bring in and who they're going to have, because Greg told me that when he went to eviction court, it was her and Bev, and it's just, or Deb, her and Deb. And I'm just like, whatever. I'm glad I'm not there, because she is just harboring a fucking felon at this point, and it's totally fine because I haven't received any help of letting anybody know what's happening here. So that's fine. It's totally fine. Okay, but it's fine. I don't have a lawyer, and I want one, and I'm going to ask for one, and that's the only fucking thing I'm going to say. Note to the person making this motion: you must file confirmation form 14C no later than 2 p.m. 3 days before the date set out above. If this motion to change past and future support payments under an order has been assigned to a government agency, you must also serve this notice on that agency. If you do not, the agency can ask the court to set aside any order that you may get in this motion and can ask for costs against you. And this just means if you do not make this fucking thing worth my time, if you do not do every fucking thing you're supposed to do, the people who you're trying to sue can sue you back, and they can sue you back for the costs that they incurred for this very hearing. Right? That's what it says. That's the rule. That is something that they put in. Okay? And so now they're asking for the following. Okay? The state of order or orders requested on this motion. And this is when you have to start seeing, this is what the judge in 2 seconds is going to say yay or nay. I have to make a favorable or unfavorable impression on him. He's going to listen to as long as he wants. He's going to ask for as much information as he wants. All I should have to say in a court of law is, I don't have a lawyer. I would like one, please. And then everything stops and they make me get a lawyer. If that doesn't work, I'll say I'm in an anxiety attack because my indigent advocate is not here, and we will proceed so that everything I say will be being received under duress. I will prove that I have an indigent advocate and my rights as an Indigenous woman are not being observed here in this court of law today. And then when I get a lawyer in a minute, I'll say, find all this if you're going to absolutely make me, if you're a corrupt judge. And then I'll just have my lawyer throw it out yesterday because we only had 1 fucking hour to find a lawyer. And that is against the law. And I can prove when we received this. And I can prove that it was hand done over. So if it was filed on the 18th, why didn't we get it in the mail? Really? Because Deb's given us 100 different copies of everything that she's ever filed. So it's fine. I will get a lawyer. I just need to you only have to get out of one conversation with one judge. That's it. And I'm imagining it Judge Judy. And she does not, if a judge is employed just to come to work, he's just looking to do his job, and he doesn't want to fuck up his job. So they're really trying not to do much of anything. It's totally fine. No internet. Okay, 1. The only thing, no. they're asking for one. They're asking for 4 things. 4 things. Okay, and they might read it out loud. It's important that we all know that the Family and Children's Services of Niagara is indicating to the court. Now, let's be aware, I've been live streaming everything, and I'm live streaming this shit now. So how they're going to be able to prove that I was insane at all is I'm going to be very interested, because literally, okay? So I'm going to explain what they're asking, and then I'm going to explain to you how that's good, because I've done nothing wrong, right? And I should only be able to say I was not given enough time to receive a lawyer and my last name is spelled incorrectly. That should be enough to have this thrown out. That should be enough. But if it's not, I'm prepared to continue to go through this in case they do it, because he's going to look at it and he's never going to have met me before, and he might have an opinion of the lawyer over there. They may, if they have a social worker, they may have a good or bad opinion about either of those people. I don't know. He's meeting me for the first time. These people are regulars in the court, right? He's a lawyer. That's what he does. And you have to assume he's done this before. You'd think he'd know how to fill out this form. I digress. Okay. This is what the Family and Children's Services is asking me to agree to on Monday. And the worst thing that they can say is fine. And I'm telling you, I'm going to have everything thrown out the next day when I call the ombudsman, because that is what I will be doing if this goes poorly, because it's a matter of public record and everything is fucking wonderful. Okay. 1, pursuant to section 42, bracket 2, bracket B of the Child, Youth, and Family Services Act, an order that the children Cody McMillan spelled wrong with his date of birth, correct, which the First Lady actually texted me and my husband asking for. I didn't give it to her, but I bet you he did. He's been very compliant. And Charlie McMillan, not her legal first name, not her proper spelling of her last name, born on her birthday, be placed in the temporary care of custody of Misty Ann McMillan, spelled incorrectly. Okay, so they're saying that they're asking that the children belong still to me and are subject to the interim supervision of the Children's Aid Society of the Niagara Region Society for a period of 6 months with the following conditions. So they are saying, for some reason, something I've said to them would indicate that I must have my parenting supervised for 6 months, which is interesting, because in the original complaint against Milana, I said that they were telling me at the first visit that I would need long-term supervision, and she was talking years, and this is just months. So whatever. Clearly, they are just realizing that they have nothing really. What she said was out of bounds, and they're just whatever. Okay, 6 months with the following terms and conditions. Misty Ann McMillan spelled incorrectly. In fact, I'm just going to grab my highlighter so I can highlight every single time it's spelled incorrectly, because that's how you're really a petty bitch. Because then this will be evidence. And then I will take it again, and I will, in a different color right now, I will just highlight every single thing that seems incorrect. You know? And I'm just gonna count up how many inaccuracies there are in this legal document. Because whatever, if you're gonna remove my rights as a parent, you're gonna do it. But at least I'm gonna say, if you do it, you're gonna have to admit you're wrong. Right? Okay, so let's start here. Okay. Cody McMillan spelled wrong. Address is correct. Charlie incorrect. McMillan incorrect. Born correct birth date. Placed in the temporary care of custody of Misty Ann McMillan spelled wrong. Subject to the interim for supervision of the Children's Aid Society of the Niagara Region, which from further known will be called the Society. Whatever, it's a 2-page document. Just fuck off. For a period of 6 months, whatever. If you think it's going to take me more than 6 months to fucking clear this all up, you have got another thing coming. Because I've never said these people are not allowed to come back. In fact, I've said I have a history of saying I have a huge respect for social workers. In fact, we've already spoken to several about Charlie. They are doing a significantly better job than you ever did. Whatever. Okay. Misty Ann spelled incorrectly. shall permit society workers to attend her home on a scheduled and unscheduled basis. So they are saying that they may come announced and unannounced if they want. And I am proving that every single thing about this is causing a secondary trauma based on the abuse of the first lady. Whatever. If you think that they're ever going to, they can come to my house at all, but I do not need to open the door if they do not have a fucking appointment with me. If I am not home and they show up, that's fine. They don't have an appointment with me. No matter what, I don't need to answer the door. They can come back later and see if they can catch me in the kitchen. Because if I see them and they see me, yes, sure do. I should probably open the door or else I'm going to be found in contempt of this. And I'll be like, they didn't give me any warning. I was eating dinner. And why did they get to come in when I'm eating? I was eating. And I asked them to come back and they did not. So that's fine. Miss Deanne McMillan, spelled incorrectly. Shall allow society workers to meet with the children privately. Why? I mean, I did. I let Milana, and she caused a dissociative state in my daughter requiring hospitalization, well documented. And that indication is on the fucking all of her medical records. I already gave the Family and Children's Services signatures to receive. They already have those. So the second time I rescinded all of our signatures, and then they had to get them back. And all the thing they asked for was Charlie's. Right? And I said, yeah, they can have them, sign them away. Absolutely. Get her shit and help me here. And instead they're deciding that they want to see my fucking things because they're looking at my assault and my assailant as the god of all. No, thank you. You didn't even spell my name correctly. And it's common knowledge. And if you just Google it anywhere, you'll fucking find it everywhere. Documenting what you're doing to me. Whatever. You don't think I'm smart enough for this. That's fine.
Oh, by the way, Mama didn't tell me what I was signing. She just told me to sign.
You signed something?
Yeah.
Well, that's the first I'm hearing about this, and I don't want to hear about it again because it's going to be a distraction. You signed something that I didn't know about, and you're a minor. Fine. That's fine. I've already given Children's Aid Society to have access to my children privately. Sounds like they did a great job. I've already done it. I do not have on record them asking for this and me declining it. But I do have proof that Milana assaulted my daughter when she told her that she had schizophrenia, and she does not, which I've already indicated in the testimony video. She does not. She has her on her record. She has major depressive disorder, body dysphoria, major separation anxiety disorder relating to me, ADHD, and anxiety in general. That's what she's been diagnosed with. And why? Because of the assault she witnessed of her mom. Totally fine. I just have to be like, I agree. Because I've been agreeing to this bullshit this whole time. Yeah? And he's just going to be like, wow, this seems like you should be a pretty shitty parent for them to basically say you must be supervised as a parent for 6 months. And they're going to say there's things in there about my dad and all this shit. I don't care what it says. I really don't care. Because I have fact of why I was in the hospital so many times. And the fact that this is happening at all is a human rights violation. Ms. Deanne McMillan, C, spelled incorrectly, shall sign releases of information permitting the society to exchange information with the service providers for herself and the children as requested by the Children Aid Society. They already have Charlie's stuff. They forgot I had Cody. I have a text message to prove that. I just need to get out of this conversation and have a conversation with a lawyer. Trust me. But I'm a poor boy, and I am a poor boy. Nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from the poor family. Yeah, right? So, I don't have money for a lawyer, so I can get one judge to see that this is just a gross overstep of fucking and misuse of the legal system. I can just have it dismissed, and I can go on as hunky-dory, and they can continue to fucking wait. But it's fine. Okay? Gotta read your court. You cannot let the first time you're hearing this is when you're hearing it in front of a judge in case somebody reads this out loud. Yeah? Okay. Miss Deanne McMillan, spelled wrong, shall follow the recommendations made for herself and her children by community services, including but not limited to doctors, psychiatrists, counselors, and social workers involved with the family, which is an interesting statement, especially since my name is spelled wrong. And we have a long history of belonging to the LGBTQ plus community groups already based on her. The first thing Milana said to me when she was sitting down, when I told her I've been in a situation since my daughter had a suicide attempt in March, she said, I'm surprised we didn't get a call then. And I said, well, so am I. Whose fault is that? Not me. I did everything I was supposed to do. I followed up with the social worker that the school provided. And I have the whole time. Not my fault that their school social workers can't do anything. And then they just abuse everyone else. Then everybody lost their jobs pretty quietly. Whatever. She has a psychiatrist. Her psychiatrist told her to go to fucking MAC because it was so bad after talking to Milana, which Shukla should have said. Because they have access to talk to Shukla. They just don't have access to talk to my psychiatrist. And I have to say, sure. And the only thing that this psychiatrist is going to say, yeah, she came to see me once for ADHD because her family was an alcoholic. Because that was the information that she would have wrote down after 1 hour with her. And she's like, you know what? You absolutely could have ADHD. Because I'm like, I can't seem to drink enough water. And that was a live stream therapy session. She will remember it. And she probably has it on file. I could probably request it. Exactly why I was seeing my psychiatrist for. And just because you think all mental health is dangerous doesn't mean that it is. And I'm allowed to have ADHD and I'm allowed to have kidney failure. And I'm allowed to be pregnant if I am. And it is not your job to tell me what I say about it is crazy. If I am looking at reality and being reality, it's fine. But Greg is feeling like a shithead at home because they twisted all his words around because he was so fucking scared about what was happening to me. And he didn't know what was happening. But he did know that Tracy 2 seconds earlier had fucking cops banging on our door. He's a little bit stressed as a Chinese person in this country. That's fine. We're both going to show up in court on Monday to say that we are perfectly well capable of making our own fucking decisions. Because this agency has my name wrong on a legal document. And I have to learn how to say that in a funny way to make light of the situation that is actually a gross mishandling of my human rights as an Indigenous woman in Canada. Because when I say my Indigenous advocate isn't even here, they'll be like, what? Well, I don't want my name on this pile of shit, so dismissed, facts, try again. By that point, if everything is not already moving, then truly I am going to die. So that is what they're asking of me. And I'm just like, first of all, I've given you no reason to do it. Second of all, you've already tried to get it illegally, and I've had it rescinded. And third of all, fuck you. I was sick. You, whatever. That's the first thing they're asking for. That all. And it's just like, whatever. You want to raise my kids and you don't even know how to talk to them. Fuck off. You think I'm going to let you do that? Whatever. By the time a lawyer is done with you, you will be so fucking sorry you ever fucking met me that you just don't know. Yeah? And I'm asking for fucking Doug Ford to come over here and be like, actually, yes, I do have an MRI for you. And here I am going to have to show up just like this in court because the government of Canada thinks I have to. And I'm just going to live stream it to YouTube in my unstable internet connection. Take some water because I have to get this anger out because Charlie needs to see that it's there. And just because I am placating her because she may not go through her abuse with me before this court date, I need to get out of this court date with my life. Yeah? It's fine. Because she's watching. And so are all of you. And if I have to do it with my wits about me, I'm going to teach you how to do it, aren't I? Read your fucking court form. Look at what they're asking. Because remember, you have an experience with an organization, right? You have ongoing abuses and abuses and abuses. And when they escalate something too far, too fast, you just need to be like, listen, this is out of hand. And they'll be like, well, yes, this is out of hand. And you just have to look more reasonable than what this paper is saying, right? You just have to show that you are already cooperating, right? You just have to like, listen, I wasn't even given enough time to get a lawyer for this. Like, it's not going to be hard to prove that my name is spelled incorrectly, right? And that's probably exactly what I'm going to say because I keep saying it over and over again. He's going to might be able to say all of these words, and I am going to have to be able to hear them in case they're going to read it. He might just be like, okay, what is this about? And they might talk to me first, or they might talk to him first. And then he might read it. And he might be saying, we are here today because we are trying to strip this Indigenous woman of all of her rights as a parent. And he's going to be like, okay, I see that. Why? And he's going to give their reasons, maybe. But it should never get that far because the first thing he should say to me is, wow, you don't look like you have a lawyer. Do you want one? And I'd be like, absolutely I do. And I wasn't given an opportunity. And it won't be hard to prove that my name is spelled wrong. Like, whatever. You have to do your research before you get to a courtroom. And as soon as you can prove that they didn't even double check your last name, let alone your first name, let alone your last name makes everybody else's name in this whole fucking thing incorrect, except when you used a preferred name instead of a legal name on a legal document heading to a fucking judge, as if they're not gonna be like, you didn't even use a legal name here. I can't take your rights away from parenting somebody you didn't even know existed, right? You think. Because I'm going to be like, my daughter's legal name is Dylan. And that name doesn't upset us. Well, it does. Because it has to be used at a hospital. And Charlie doesn't even exist. So who's Charlie McMillan, spelled McMillen? That person doesn't even exist. And the judge is going to have to say, yes, correct. Everything in here is correct. And I am prepared for him to go out of order and fucking trample on my human rights because every single other system has. But I know the only thing I can do is agree to this to get out of this because I know I'm going to be able to prove with a lawyer. I didn't have time to have a lawyer. It's totally fine. But I do need to go to court. When you are summoned, you do need to go there. It's asking 2, an order to pursuant of Section 78 of the Child, Youth, and Family Services Act for separate legal representation for the child through the Office of the Children's Lawyer. Absolutely. And I want their names because they do need a lawyer. They do need a lawyer, actually. And if you're going to pay for it, absolutely. It seems that we have a little issue here with gender. My male does not want to live as a fit male. Wonder why? I don't know. We haven't seen a doctor, not a capable, competent one in Ontario, but I do know I need a lawyer. And if the doctor, the Family Children's Services Unit is going to make me get one for free, I'm certainly not going to say no. Anyway, fine. 3, the next thing, they're asking for 4 things. The third thing, an order pursuant to Rule 5, bracket 3, bracket 5 of the Family Law Rules, abridging the time for services of this notice of motion upon the parties as necessary. This means that they are saying that they don't have to give me notice about anything for any reason ever, including this first one. Whatever, I don't have a lawyer, and you didn't give me time to get a lawyer, and you didn't even know. So everything is fine, whatever. You think that that's going to be a thing that you're going to be allowed to have, you will have another thing coming. I don't even quite understand what abridging means, but I do mean it means like going over. So if you're supposed to have a wait list, a wait time, you're supposed to be able to know. So if they decided anytime they want to take my kids away, they don't want to have to go through the proper ways about it. Whatever, fine. I'm going to prove I don't have a lawyer. So it's fine. I just need to get out of this conversation with one judge, and the only thing I should have to say is I didn't have time to get a lawyer, and I can prove my name is spelled incorrectly, and so are my children, and my husband's address is wrong. So, like, can we just agree that nothing here is correct, and we can throw this whole thing out, then I can hand this whole thing to my lawyer, and we can deal with the human rights issue that I have here? It's fine, guys, fine. Totally fine. There's nobody watching me at 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Not a single person. The last thing that they are asking for is such further and other order as counsel may advise and this honorable court may deem necessary in the circumstances. So they're saying at any point they can make any decisions for me and my children if they deem it necessary, as long as the court is siding with them, right? Fine. Whatever, I agree. If you can make a court agree that I'm crazy, then yeah, I probably should have my kids taken away. But like, if you can't prove it and there's nothing to prove it and you can't prove it and you're just talking out your ass because you're going on one fucking police report that I've already told everybody I can was started because I was assaulted by the NRP in front of my daughter in the middle of an emergency room in St. Catharines, it's really not going to be hard. But I don't want to have to go into all of this. Correct? Because it's going to make me mad. Right? And I can't get mad in court. And that is why you get a lawyer. And your lawyer is supposed to prep you. They're supposed to prep you for court. They're supposed to say what they're going to say. They're supposed to say how you're supposed to answer it. And they're going to say what they're looking for. So you can, and then they might try to get you angry. And you're going to go back and forth. And you're going to, everything that, because the lawyer gets the legal information. And then your lawyer's like, okay, they have this. They're going to ask you this type of question. What are you going to say about that? And I'd be like, oh, absolutely. You don't have to say anything because I can just throw them this. I don't have to say anything because the most I should have to show them is the testimony that I've already left in the event of my death of exactly what happened on that day. And as long as that matches anything that they can find on a surveillance camera, as long as they can't find that, as long as they can't find a single thing that I say that didn't happen, as long as if the second that I said something that they can't they can't discredit. Like if they're like, oh, the triage did let her put on her glasses. And I'd be like, no, she didn't. You can see it right there. I said she didn't let me put on my glasses. I said I was blind without them. And that's a human rights violation. She also told me it wasn't her job. And I'm sorry. Yes, your job. And I don't know why. People keep saying this isn't my job and this isn't my job. And I'm just like, yeah, it is your job. And does your boss know you're saying it's not your job to your patients? Because I'm trying to get to the fucking owner of the plenary hospital that employs Dr. Noor, because I would like a word with the entire organization, but not without a lawyer, because I know better than that. I am smart, and I don't say anything if I don't have a lawyer, which is exactly what I'm going to tell you. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you, and now that you know what it says, I can put it away now. And I sent it to Greg, and I just told him the things that I needed to tell him, and I said it out loud to you. I keep all of my shit in a thing because this will be going to my lawyer. Lawyer. I'm going to put this over here for now because I don't expect to have to deal with it again. Because I just have to explain to you and to myself, and what I will do, because I'm not a fucking psychic. What I do is what I'm saying I'm going to do. And if you're not smart enough to know I'm telling you the reasons why, then that is all completely up to you to do or not do your research at this point. But I need to move so much fucking anger out of my body in like 2 fucking days so that I can be funny with this judge in case he's funny and he's just going to help me dismiss this whole piece of shit and put on record that fax is going out of order. Because as soon as I can prove on record that they did anything out of order, and as soon as the judge dismisses it, I am a free woman and you have no idea. Because my psychiatric fucking professionals already told me I'm not crazy. So music curriculum, because this is all happening at the same fucking time. Okay. I have written 4 things out. 4. That's it. Just 4. And 1 side project that I will ask in case if they want to settle it in mediation. They always ask. They did in election court. So when I did this, I'm like, oh my God, me and Judge Judy, how am I going to get out of this mess? And I'm like, okay, me and Judge Judy. But what if I don't have to see Judge Judy? What if I can de-escalate this and I don't ever have to see a judge? Well, the first time Greg went to eviction court, they did decide to go to mediation. And then the second time they wanted to go right for eviction in front of a judge. They didn't give them the opportunity. So there's a 50-50 chance that they might even be helpful. Okay, totally fine. I just need to say that my name is spelled incorrectly at some point while I'm at the fucking St. Catharines courthouse. That's all I need to say. Because then they will know then it's inadmissible in court. Not only can you, it's impossible to make me look crazy, which is where me and Greg are having a thing, because he thinks I look crazy and I don't look crazy. I look angry because he is my husband and he pisses me off. But that is fine because I'm not without him. We do live separately and we always have. He's letting me borrow his house right now. And I've made that quite clear on the live streams that I'm putting out. It's quite clear in everything I've done, including when I was here, when the Ministry of fucking Ontario sent Eveline a fucking notice for something. I took a picture and sent it over my WhatsApp. Hey, you got some mail here. And he came and got it and took it back to my house with all the flyers that he leaves everywhere. It's fine. I don't keep flyers. I think that there should be a recycling box right next to the community mailbox that the fucking recycling people just have to get. Or perhaps it should be the superintendent's job to make sure that we are properly recycling flyers. Whatever. I'm just trying not to do all the work because I don't want to do too much. So I am telling you as a group of gifted professionals that are on the back end of this, that know that I'm here. I'm off Twitter right now. I probably won't be on Twitter again all weekend. I really, 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 really need to watch what I say right now. And I am so angry. I don't think I can be trusted on Twitter, even Twitter. Because if you look at what I've posted, they are actual truths. And I feel that they are getting risky enough for me to stop for now and I focus on my own health, because I cannot afford to get that angry again about how angry I was when I was watching Greta beg for help, realizing that those are the same kids that are coming to get me, and like they're watching this happen, and I'm just, you know what? It's fine. You know what? It's fine. What I'm going to say is what should happen. So there's what should happen and what I'm ready for happening. And I'm trying to explain it to Greg, and he's like, you can't say it. He's trying to tell me everything I can't say. And I'm just like, I'm trying to say nothing. I'm trying to say nothing, but there is absolutely no physical possible way for me to get a lawyer in the time that I was provided. And the only option was to try to reach out for my current fucking Aboriginal advocate. It's their job. If I can get a hold of them, they will be able to come into the meeting too. And then I will feel even better. But I don't have time to make that appointment with her. I wasn't given the opportunity to. And Fax already has it that I'm working with an Aboriginal advocate. So I can imagine that the Fax is going to be in a pretty deep fucking trouble with the advocacy groups that they're working with. Because I have a feeling that Indigenous women aren't supposed to find themselves in front of a court of law without a lawyer with an Indigenous advocate not even aware that it's happening. Again, what I said before, Indigenous extra laws, I just have to get out of this mess. And the worst thing that they want to do is make all my decisions for me. And they don't even show up. So whatever, I just need to get through 6 months of whatever. I told you I have 6 months of moves left, but that's because I'm dying of kidney failure. Do you know what he mean? Like, whatever, 6 months of fucking being watched by the government doesn't really fucking scare me now, does it? There's nothing they're going to find. And as soon as I can fucking prove that I was assaulted by the NRP at the beginning of this whole fucking thing, and this is all just a massive cover up trying to make me look crazy. And it's like, the cops aren't even smart enough to know that the internet even exists. They just think I'm just sitting down, smoking my pot and drinking my booze, just like my mother. But like, it is not my fault if you've made a decision about me based on my mother. We are not the same person, and I am sober, and I have been most of my life. So I'm going to go into the court of law, because what you have to do is in an anxiety attack, I wrote down what I need to say, the most important things I need to say if like I'm thinking I'm being arrested right now and I'm talking to the media and they're taking one fucking thing, because in my head, it might as well be anything I put on record is anything anybody can pillage. And I want to make sure that I use my time wisely. And that means that if I have an opportunity to put something on record, even if I know it's going to be taken striked from the record later, doesn't mean I'm not going to say it. To ask for help, I always do. Just like I went to the fucking veterinary clinic in Welland because I'm like, you know what? I need to show up here. In my head, I do, because I would have slipped them a notice if I was being held against my will. But no, I was there. I was loving on my cat, whatever. Greg went back after that, but I did go once and I was sick. But we got through that one visit and then he handled it because I needed to talk to my vet and tell him what was going on, and he fixed it. And no one is seeing that I'm doing what I say I'm going to do. Nobody is seeing it. Even Craig, who still doesn't trust me, even though I we almost had to euthanize our rescue kitty in front of the internet because we couldn't afford pet care. And that would have been a disaster. But no. The vet industry is its own fucking problem, and I'm not ready to fuck with it. And I don't really care. And I think it can all get taken care of on the back end. Okay, so I'm going in. This is how court will go. I will go in and I will say, at some point, within the first 5 minutes of being there and it being my turn, the judge should ask me if I have a lawyer, if I have had the ability to receive a lawyer. And I will say no, and it won't be hard to prove that my last name is spelled incorrectly. And at that point, he should be like, interesting. And he will be like, weird, right? Weird. Right? He'll say weird. Or he's going to be like, oh, no, you don't have a lawyer. We'll go get a lawyer then. You're not ready for this case. And that's what should happen. That is what should happen. But in case that doesn't happen, my first opportunity to speak, I'm going to request a lawyer. And the sentence that I've written out, my first opportunity to speak will be this. Write it down. I am currently having an anxiety attack. I was not given opportunity to attain legal counsel as I was texted information about this hearing late Friday afternoon. I am requesting time to speak to a lawyer about this matter. That is what I will be saying. I'm going to be reading it right from here, because in the event that they are trampling on my legal right as a citizen to have a lawyer attend with me in the court of any level, that's why they say it's not just the Supreme Court getting a lawyer. It's like, no, anytime that some asshole is saying you have to stand up in front of a lawyer, you have the right to also receive one as soon as you start getting fucking court documents. And if you don't, then that's your own fault. If you can't afford a lawyer, you have to do it yourself, but you got to be able to pull all the proof you need. And you'd be like, I have proof of all these things. That's not what this meeting is about. This is just he's seeing this piece of shit paper for the first time. And what do I have to say about it? I'm going to say I was not given the opportunity to attain legal counsel as I was texted information about this hearing late Friday afternoon, which I have on record. I am requesting time to speak to a lawyer about this matter because like all he needs to say is, okay, go get a lawyer. And this is done. And it's remanded. Or he can be like, you're correct. Your last name is incorrect because I will have to spell it and check in properly. Because they take a roll call or whatever. Greg already told me how court works. And so he's going to talk me through it because he's going to be here. Because he did it first, but now I could do it and all courts are the same. They'll function the same. They're just talking about different things. And then I have this. And then it's like, yes, remanded, get a lawyer. And then I'm out of that meeting. And that's all I should have to say as a Canadian citizen to be out of this meeting. But this is only if they've said no. If he's just like, you don't have a lawyer. And I'm like, no, my name is spelled wrong. And then if he asks me any more questions, I know no matter what, I've already asked for a lawyer. As soon as he said, do you have a lawyer? And I said, no, and I want one. Anything I say now is inadmissible. But he can maybe, or Judge Judy can decide this is frivolous all by himself and decide to dismiss it. And then everything that facts has said against me is proven to be untrue. So I'm going to give this Judge Judy every chance to see what's happening here and dismiss this piece of shit and make them at least go get the right information before they fucking start talking. Yeah? Because, like, trust me, he's worried about like what people think of him for being in fucking children's aid court. And it's like, no one even knows that unless you're friends of me. Okay? But it might not go that way because so far, and nothing has gone that way. I have to put my entire faith in the legal system that I don't have my fucking rights as a woman removed after the rights of my. So then they're going to say, why are they going to this? Like, why are you so hard to get a hold of? Like, why haven't they been able to come into your house? Why has it gotten this far? That might be something he asks me. What happened? Why are you not being compliant with them? Why are they asking me to make you do it? Because that's what he's going to ask. Because he's going to be like, well, that seems extreme. I don't really want to do anything for no reason because I'm a judge. And this is just a shitty fucking Children's Aid Society with a reputation. And first thing I'm going to say is I didn't have time to get a lawyer and my Indigenous advocate isn't here. And he's going to be like, okay, well, why are you here then? And I'm going to say, and I've written it down in orange, I have never indicated to be non-compliant with the wishes of facts. However, our first caseworker leaked a police report filed by my attacker and in an interrogation with my daughter privately, where I was not allowed to witness it, which I was not permitted to witness it, as we were separated immediately. My daughter then required hospitalization. That's what I'm going to say. And he'll be like, okay, well, what still? You have a new worker. Did you request a new worker? Yes, I did. And I talked to the ombudsman and they helped me file proper complaints against my first social worker. And we have had no problems with Ashley McMillan. That's what I will say. And he'll be like, okay, well, why aren't you making a visit with her? And at that point, I will say, highlighted in green, the social worker has messaged blank amount of times because I don't know. They only message to Greg and I have to fill in those blanks, or I'm going to say consistently. If I can't get him to put a word in there, I'm going to say consistently, and called my husband as many times as 3 times as I'm aware of after her last visit. Since then, I have remained compliant voluntarily with the wishes of my, I've been checking in more often with my stepmother. However, I was under the impression everything received by the first social worker was indeed rescinded with the help of the ombudsman the very next day. So all of that is shit I'm going to try not to say unless I'm leaking these little tidbits of information to a judge interested into what's happening to me. Remember, I'm not going to say anything if I don't have to say I don't have a lawyer. That should be all I have to say. And any single thing I have to say after that is inadmissible in court. So I just need to choose my words wisely. So if I feel like it's going bad, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to read it again. I'm not going to stop. The social worker we currently have, Ashley Millen, has messaged my husband consistently and has spoken to him at least 3 times until Friday, November the 5th, when we alerted Ashley Millen that my health was declining and I was at an out-of-region hospital. This indication was the next form of contact. 6 days. They called him. I was in the hospital on the 5th. That's what my admission documents to maternity indicate. The 5th. So on the 5th, they did it on the 8th. 5, 6, or 18th, right? Is that what I said? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 10 days. 7 business days later, after I was in the hospital, they were filing this injunction to have my rights as a parent taken away because I literally a week earlier was in a hospital bed. Interesting. Okay. And so he should be like, what? And I'm like, literally. At that point, I might have nothing more to say than this. When they're like, well, do you agree with this? And I'm going to say, I've requested assistance reporting a crime against my daughter, and Facts told me it wasn't their job. I've been quite accommodating thus far, considering my health, and Facts is overstepping my rights as a woman and as an Indigenous. I'm overstepping onto my rights as an Indigenous woman. I have already requested advocacy representatives who were not permitted to be here today. If you want to know, I'm just asking for time to get a lawyer. I can handle this myself. I don't need a judge to help because my last name is incorrect. So again, I know what I'm willing to say and what I need to say because they are going to say, well, like Kesha, when she signed a fucking agreement after she was assaulted, and she's like, well, what else was I going to do? And then she tried to have it rescinded later, and then for some reason she got stuck in Sony, and she just had to work with her abuser because, well, you said you had help, you had a chance to say no, and you choose to. So I'm going to fucking mention every single thing that I did. They don't want me talking, though. That's the thing. Everything I have to say to this judge is going to strengthen my court elsewhere, and I'm just trying to get out of it because you are stupid if you talk to a lawyer without a lawyer present. If you talk to a fucking judge without a lawyer present, then that is stupidity. But if I have to say anything at all, and I know I'm going to have everything rescinded in a minute anyway, because I had 1 hour to get a lawyer and my Indigenous advocate that works with Facts and has already been to a meeting with us, indicating there is no problem at all and indicating this is an absolute overstep of bounds because I'm trying to indicate to Facts that the fucking police report is based on my assault. Okay. And I was trying to talk to Greg, and I'm like, oh my God, there's one more step. There's one more possibility I wasn't considering. And that's they're going to say, do you want to go to mediation? That's what they always say. They said it to Greg both times. And then I'm like, okay, he's going to want me to say yes. I'm going to want to say no because I just want to have the whole thing dismissed with my fucking last name wrong. Right? So if we go to mediation, what am I going to say? I'm going to say, didn't give me time to file a lawyer. My name isn't even spelled correctly. And yes, it is your job to give me the police report that you just provided to me in an email because I asked for it. I asked Ashley Millen for that police report, and she said it wasn't her job to give it to me. And what happened now, isn't it? And isn't it interesting how quickly it is when you need to prove it to a judge? Thanks for giving it to me. At least I don't have to go into the fucking NRP, but I'm still going to ask for it because it's still your job to give it to me. And you didn't give it to me when I asked, but I have it now. And now my husband has to see it 5 minutes before he thinks his life is ending because like he realizes what he said about his wife to a fucking cop who turned around and said, your husband doesn't even think you're sane. Meanwhile, he's been sitting at my side for the last fucking 60 days. Well, let me just say, he has been handling Facts like a champ because I've been too angry to even discuss anything with anybody. I just need to fucking say I didn't even have time to get a lawyer, and this is just one more abuse of the fucking system out to get me. And you think that I now need to give you my attention, and I don't. But you sure do if you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. And you can just get some fucking thing shoved in somewhere and hand deliver it without any notice to get a lawyer, as if I'm not going to be able to be like, hello. You think I'm going to really spend all fucking weekend panicking and you're going to see somebody who's insane? Again, this lawyer's never even met me. Millen's met me once. And the last time I spoke to her, everything was hunky-dory. Can't wait to see what her actual file says. Because she received a little tour of my home. I showed her that Charlie's bedroom was a disaster and I was having trouble with her mental health. Thank you for getting her into therapy school. You were so helpful. You seem to have so much pull when I need you. But for some reason, you can trample on my human rights in 0.7 seconds because you think you can and you cannot. Not mine, anyway. It is fine. It is absolutely fucking fine. And I'm not doing this again. Like, the law is just the law. That's why the insurgents now for fucking the Capitol building bullshit are now like, yeah, you're in jail now because you can behave like a fool, but then you got to go to jail. You can't break the law and get away with it just because you think you can in the moment. And that's kind of what I'm saying here. When you don't know what to do nothing. And use your time wisely. So all day today, I'm going to be hanging out with my daughter, and I'm going to be trying to feel better, and I might even have a nap this afternoon. At some point, I want to live stream my greatest show fucking thing because I think it's going to be great. Because this whole time, I need to put on record what I was doing when this is happening to me. Because in the event of my death, this will all be testimony. They'll just watch what Misty Ann live streamed for the last week of her life, for the last month of her life, for the last 6 months of her life. And it'll be here because YouTube is happy to let it be here because they are happy with me. Because I warned them what I was doing when I was doing it. And as soon as I had enough subscribers, I'm live streaming like a good girl. I usually even leave the music off because I understand that there's a thing and there's a song and a dance. And while I'm right on a technicality, I understand that it's a little bit harder for you as an organization. It's fine. Everything's fine. I just want to make sure that the artists are being paid and not the studios that represent them and the lawyers and all this fucking enough. I just want to make sure that the people doing work get paid. And I'm tired of middle management fucking it up. Everything is fine here because I still have to get through this weekend with my daughter who's also reliving the trauma of me being assaulted. So this is what healthcare in Ontario looks like. It's a Google special over here. And since you can't seem to find anything on Google these days, unless it's said by me, it's totally fine. Everything is fine. Hang out with me. This is how we handle it when you are watching your life as a woman be stripped away. And just know that they can't do that. There's a reason that they can. That's what you have to say. There are people that are protected by actions of this. And I am not an appropriate use of the resources of this. I just explained the other day what happens when you have to take your rights away from an aging mom. There's a movie about it. I still can't remember her name, even though she's very special to me and excellent. And I would never forget her name on purpose, but she was in The Crown with Anthony Hopkins. Like, you need to be, it is serious. When a judge says you do not have the fucking mental capacity to parent your kids, and the only thing they're asking for is 6 months, and they're going to get my kids lawyers, oh, please, by all means. Yeah, I'll take your lawyers. My kids each need a lawyer. My husband needs a lawyer, and I need a fucking team at this point. It's totally fine. But if you don't think that I can prove that, if you can make sure that names are spelled correctly on a legal document, the whole legal document is thrown out. That is law 101. Do not write here, write in here, right? Like, you get that. You can see that this whole thing is a disaster because my name is spelled incorrectly on the motion hearing notice. So, like, whatever. I just need to get out of this fucking mess with my fucking rights still. Because the worst that I can say is fine, but I'm going to have to say all those things to a judge who's going to choose not to act. And then that judge will choose, well, wait a minute. You've indicated to them that you were assaulted and they didn't help you. You indicated to them that your daughter was assaulted and they didn't help you either. Well, no, it doesn't look like they are looking out for the best interest of your children. Now, does it? No. They don't even know how to spell check a last name. They don't even know how to Google a fact before they think that they can just pull it from the back end and get fucking what the police said. Not even looking. I won't. I don't need to. I need to keep my eyes on the fact of the matter. And the fact of the matter is this whole legal case set up to take my kids away eventually, if I just don't comply, will be thrown out on the fact that your Family and Children's Services Unit spelled my first and last name wrong.
and Greg's address is incorrect. Charlie's preferred name is in use of a legal name, and both of my children's last names are incorrect. Also, my ex-husband's first name is incorrect and his last name is incorrect. You've not provided an address for him because he has fled the country. So exactly why is he a respondent here? Why are you bringing him into this? You can't even find him. We're just going to try to fucking, none of us have lawyers here, and their lawyers will be the most expensive. Trust me, if this wasn't what my mother wanted the whole fucking time, that's fine. But I refuse to drink, and I refuse to drink with people who drink too much. And it is totally my right to do so. And I do not have to tell anybody a reason why I don't answer the door when they're banging on it. I do not. That is not anything I need to do. I don't need to do it for the police. I don't need to do it for my mother. And I certainly don't need to do it for anybody else who thinks they can drop in and have an unexpected appointment with me during my day if I've already indicated I'm not feeling well. That goes for a boss, that goes for a fucking friend, that goes for a fucking lawyer or a cop. Doesn't matter. Your legal residence is your legal residence. And when your front door is locked, it's locked. Stay inside. They cannot get you if you are in your house. So stay in your house and show up to court. And you don't even have to leave your house to get to court these days. They're widely available for everybody on the internet. My connection is still unstable, though. No worries. I'm about to shut this down. I'm okay now. I had to shake and vomit all night in order for me to be able to explain this to anybody. And the only thing that I could do to do that was watch my reaction to my testimony video. And yesterday, me explaining Critical Thought as an Indigenous People Unite movie. And both of those things, putting my parenting on record, would indicate that if this has to go to the Supreme Court, this will be settled so far before it goes. This will be settled as soon as I can prove that I was assaulted. And I'm never stupid enough to be under video surveillance when I shouldn't be, and in video surveillance when I really shouldn't be. And I know where I should be, and I know to be video surveilled. Just so happens the only place I've left my house to go are hospitals and doctors and blood test areas. So that's the only record of me, and every fucking thing is this comedy of errors because I'm still dying of kidney failure, and I'm going to have to show up Monday morning looking like this because the Canadian government is ready to just say, I don't believe you. And they're going to fucking call my bluff. No, I absolutely, I'm looking at a legal document asking to have my rights as a parent stripped away, and my name is spelled incorrectly on the document. Let that sink in. I shouldn't have to say anything more than that, and the whole thing should get dismissed. And we have a fucking copy of everything they think they have on us. So actually, we are in a better position if I can get this thrown out, and then I can have my own lawsuit against them civilly. Because that's just a big misunderstanding. But, I mean, who do I sue? I'm trying to sue Dr. Noor, and no one seems to be ready to let him pass the buck. It's totally fine. Police just need your training, but, like, if you let me get to them first, you have nothing to blame but yourself. Because Greg's getting me a lawyer. He already said, and he is disappointed that he was not responsive enough to them, and he doesn't understand every fucking text message was an assault on his human rights, and I can't exactly explain to him the entire fucking Charter of Human Rights. I just can't explain that in that fast. And he thinks he should have did better, and he's looking at him being a shithead that day, and I'm like, yeah, I was there. Trust me. It's in my testimony. I say that the cops were just chit-chatting, and why did I think I had the right to call 911 for a carbon monoxide test? You trust me when I say he will be able to corroborate exactly what they were talking to me about. He was right there. When I say he was right there, he was right there. And if I say he was right there and I say, yeah, you can corroborate that, and he'll be like, yeah, I corroborate that. Done. Okay, so it's not just he said, she said. It's he and me and my husband said, and what my husband didn't watch, fucking video surveillance got. And if video surveillance didn't get it, and you have a body cam, and I can prove you were in my bedroom unannounced and uninvited, you know, but this is not stuff I need to say to the fucking judge. This is not what this is about. This is about facts trying to take away my rights as a human being at the same time as I'm live streaming how to not riot on the internet. With nobody watching, nobody, because nobody has access to anything that I do or say on the internet. Nobody. Because one person thinks they own the internet.
And I'm just sitting here fucking talking to myself, trying to capture how angry and how upset and how broken my system is every fucking time I think about that police report. And no, I will not read it. I know better. Because they're going to say, and I bet you it's not even going to be that bad because it's all shit I heard him say. And I'm just like, oh, whatever, Greg. Whatever. Yeah, I know. My mom was here. I know. She's nuts, isn't she? I know. We're a little stressed out right now, right? Some things look scary. When they're scary, you just think it's crazy. And you just say that. And it's fine. You don't realize what you're saying. But I knew what you were saying. And I knew what I was doing. As long as my actions were perfect, it didn't matter what you said. Because everything is documented, including the 911 call that he placed, not me. He placed it. So I had to convince him that I was worried enough about an actual carbon monoxide test that would have him to say something to dispatch. If it was taken seriously or not at his level, that's fine. But I know that I was able to convince him that there was an actual air quality assurance area. Because there is no way he would have called the cops for carbon monoxide if I wasn't fucking sure. And I looked sure. Because I was acting like I was sure, because I'm still sure, quite frankly. And he still has to get the air quality. And I'm just trying to get fucking someone to prove that the fucking emissions are leaking out of the goddamn old carpet into my furniture. So they have to pay for everything because I have tenant insurance. And negligence on my real estate. And I replace all my shit. But no, Family and Children's Services thinks I'm crazy. And I don't want to talk to them while I'm in kidney failure. So like, oh my God, here I go to talk to a judge. Hey, judge, they don't even have my name right. You want to believe anything that these assholes say? Right? It's angering. How does nobody check fucking anybody's work? And we just go ahead as fact. And we're just going to let some judge. You think some judge is going to look through all that fucking thing? No, I'm just going to say, I'm like, well, my name isn't right. And he's like, well, then fuck it, dismissed. Because he's not going to waste the brain space to read that shit. My doctor told me I was wasting his time when I told him about the contractions I was having. And that fluid was leaking out the bottom of my body. And then I couldn't come in that day because my car is broken and my husband works. And he told me I wasted his time because now all of my symptoms were in his head. Well, they're not going to read symptoms of this fucking abuse issue, but I'm telling you it's going to be thrown out anyway. I'm just going to be like, perfect. This is the easiest case I see today. Name spelled incorrectly, case dismissed. That's what it should be. But no, I can't just expect that'll happen because of all of the other things that have gone incredibly, incredibly wrong. Because as far as I'm concerned, as a government, all I should have to say, in fact, in a court of law, the judge should notice I don't have a lawyer, and he should notice that the lawyer information is missing from that form and ask me if I want a lawyer or if I'm going on record saying, no, I don't want one. And I would absolutely never say that. And if you are ever given a chance to get a lawyer. Because they'll give you some time to find one. That's totally fine. But that's how the court is supposed to go. No internet connection. So either somebody's suppressing every fucking thing that I'm saying, or fucking just there's so many people listening to me talk that they don't even know are there. So like everything is fine. I'm just handling this because I have to deal with my daughter today and I need to not be mad about fucking 10 a.m. So like how am I going to be better for 10 a.m.? I'm going to show up just like this. And I'm like, listen, I am here. I am sick. I'm going on record now, and they're going to, if they ask me how I'm feeling, I'm going to say awful. I'm recovering from sepsis. Sepsis is a big fucking deal. And even though it was 2 years ago, and I can't prove it was sepsis now, but I can say I did have sepsis a year ago, and I have not recovered. That is a fact. And I can corroborate that with medical documents, which will be what they receive. The medical documents indicating that I did, in fact, have a sepsis kidney stone on August 27, 2020. If you don't think that this is all going to be a fucking big misunderstanding, then I do know what I'm talking about. Actually, yes, it is your job, and fuck you all of the way. But I can't be angry as a woman. I can't have a body as a woman. I can't express my fucking self as a woman. So what do I do here? Can't drink water, still not tolerating food, still too angry to eat, must eat. Because if I let myself get so upset about this, I said yesterday, you can choose your emotion. And I have to choose not angry. But until I can choose not angry, I have to move it out of my body. Because my body is saying no angry. And I'm like, no, Charlie's awake. Don't be angry. And my body's saying, no, still angry. And so like, fine. No idea why I'm hormonal or angry at all in any fucking way, shape, or form. I'm just going to open up my curtains here with this body that I own. I'm in kidney failure. Anybody want to help me? Just 1 second. I'm going in my yeah, hi everybody. Yeah, I do open up my curtains in a day because yes, Dushan, he does work full time and he does not have time for you. And he is still living here, except I'm living here right now because I'm his wife, as far as you're concerned. And I'm allowed. And it's fine. We have not done anything wrong. I'm sick. I'm not feeling well. I need to conserve my energy. But I want to have a good time. And I'm here with my daughter. And like, nothing has to be as bad or hard as you're making it be. But when you receive court documents telling you that you're about to have your rights stripped away as a woman from some children's services fucking unit that thinks that they're God and that they're the most important people in the entire planet because they're thinking of the children. Meanwhile, they're doing fucking nothing. You need to know, just focus on the facts of the matter. When you're talking to a judge has to, their training is in fact of the matter. Is this legal or not legal? And all I need to say is my name is incorrect on that document. That's all I should have to say. And this whole fucking thing should go away.
That's not your legal name.
It's not my legal name, no. And it's not your legal name listed. So trust me when I say, it's totally fine. Because even if they're like, oh, well, the last name doesn't matter, just the first name does. So I was like, well, Charlie's first name isn't Charlie. So why is it in here then? If the last name doesn't matter and the first name doesn't matter, then does the address matter? Because Greg's address is not correct. So if the first name doesn't matter and the last name doesn't matter, does the address? Because I just said it's the most important thing. Their documents are incorrect. Their information is incorrect. And if they're basing it off of my attacker, then that's on them because they're going to look pretty fucking stupid because they don't even have my last name correct. You can have you can have one more muffin. I was going to give you I don't like to split them this way. I don't like the tops. Like they think this I found them. Like I don't like the bottoms. I'll eat it, of course, but it's like different texture at the top. And it's like yay, and this is just like bready. It's different. It's fine. You can have another one though. I was going to give you the shitty half of mine, and I'm like, no one needs a shitty half. That's what the Seinfeld episode was all about. It was all about. They were having what did they call them? They were bottoms. They were like, we only want the muffin tops. We don't want the muffin bottoms. And they were trying to give the muffin bottoms away, and then trying to give it to the fucking homeless shelter, and nobody wanted that. They're like, stop bringing us the bottoms. Our people want the tops too. It was a very funny episode. I was actually not a super big fan of Seinfeld, but I did see some pretty funny things. It is a good show because it truly is a show about nothing. It's just these fucking people and every day what happens in their lives, which is why this is so fucking funny now. And this is why having everybody live stream, just like totally disconnecting my internet is the only thing. But all I'm going to ask of you is that you could fucking go through theirs and watch it on theirs so at least I can get things out without worrying. Or you fucking go in through the court. If you need to hack in and learn it, please, I'm asking you, I am begging you. There's going to be a lot of people listening to me illegally that day. If you have the ability to, please, and you're going to do it anyway, please go find somebody else's internet to go in on from there because you're bogging mine down. Here's the thing, and I just need to get through this judgment of the judge all the judge is doing is this correct or not correct? Because if it's correct, I say yes. They're saying this is all correct. And the judge is like, well, if it's correct, you don't have any rights as a parent. And I'm like, my name isn't even right on this fucking thing. And I'm like, well, then case is missed. Right? That should be how easy it is.
It's not on your birth certificate.
It's not on my birth certificate. Nothing is correct in this fucking piece of shit. And I'm not even going to discuss it until a lawyer looks at it. And so if they're going to make me tell them why I haven't been cooperative with the facts, I'm going to be like, I have been. They have been doing absolutely nothing to help me in this mess. Everything I'm going to say is going to be taken out of context anyway. So it's totally fine. But if you are somebody who is currently causing my internet connection to be unstable, please do not come in through this way on Greg's computer when I am dealing with this with the courts. The internet, I need it to be stable because I don't want to have to stress out about it. And I'm not going to tell him it's happening because he can't even handle anything right now. Everything is okay. Everything is fine. I just explained to you what happens when you receive it. I explained how mad you're going to be. And I don't even look at what they're saying about you. Don't bother. Because you just need to understand that as soon as a judge says once, as soon as they say no once, that sets a precedent. That's a precedent. And that's why it was so interesting when Greg was unable to be evicted the second time. Because then that's 2 times they were unable to, if Real Star was unable to evict me already this year. And this is just another thing being fucking thrown into the 2020 work year. Oh my God. So there's all of these forms are going to have the same year on it. This will be the year that Misty Ann was attacked by every single person. And you just all want to have, you don't even want to separate that to hide it a little bit. No, you're going to have it happen as quickly as possible because you have no idea that revenge is supposed to be served cold because it's supposed to be served with proof and ironclad proof because that's why it's cold. It's cold because you didn't know about this because I spent all this time doing this shit. Only I knew you were doing it when you were doing it because I'm not an idiot. And I could see a fucking assault coming a mile away. Only in my fucking, in the police area, it's women. And in the fucking medical, it's women. And I have protections of an Indigenous. And we're so whitewashed over here. I'm pretty sure it's just a woman versus man issue. And everyone's going to renounce it. It's totally fine. But like either way, I need to go to fucking a court. I need to, of all people, I need to say, no, I actually don't think that I will allow you to speak to my children privately without any permission. Because I indicated that the last time you did it, you abused that right and you harmed my daughter. I don't need to tell a judge that. He just needs to know I haven't seen a lawyer about this and that I want to see a lawyer about this. And then I will go get a lawyer. Unless he just decides that he is funny and smart with a sense of humor and hates this guy and hates this social worker and just doesn't see anything wrong with me. I just need to be nothing wrong with. I need to be better than his previous experiences with the people on the other side. And I'm a pretty chill person. I know that this is just a small thing getting out of control, and I'm not willing to take my eye off the prize. I'm basically a goalie. Goalies don't take their eye off the puck, not ever. That is why they're so good. They can see it anywhere. As soon as you take your eye off the puck, you'll lose it. Eye on the prize, and the prize is the DSBN, and the fact that my daughter is sitting beside me, not in school, as an Indigenous child with a disability.
It's also Saturday.
Well, yes, it's also Saturday, but you've been here for like a year. You've been here since March 15th, right? Right by my side, watching every single thing that's happened because we have not been able to get you into anything resembling therapy school because your doctor said you were actually probably a candidate for inpatient treatment. But the hope of that is just so far and beyond anything that is possible at this point. Yes, you do. You need a place where they can test your blood and test your hormones and diagnose you with exactly why you hit 13 and decided you were a girl. Because it's like, okay, whatever. And you thought it was trans, and I don't care what you call it, but I do know as a parent something is wrong here. And I'm trying to get to a doctor about it, but my personal doctor and your doctor seems to be useless on account of my issues. And we have Karen Chow, but I can't surprise you with you, so I have to get her first. And then we got to get, after my appointment with her, we're going to talk about you. And yes, I'd love you to see my daughter and my son as well. Greg's got whatever. I don't care what he has. He's his own physician. He's doing a great job, I'll tell you that. Not hard. I'm just sitting here. We're just talking because I'm not ready to stop it yet. I'm trying to stop it at 3 minutes, but you know what? It might be 4 hours. Might be 5 hours. Might be 6 hours. Probably not. I'm just not feeling very well right now. I'm angry.
You want my shitty hat?
No, I don't want your bottom. I still have a top I can't there. And I think all the rude girls just laughed. I don't want a shitty bottom. Not me. I want a tidy, neat and tidy. Everything must be neat and
I find
tidy.
that very funny.
It is very funny. It was a very dirty little joke I let you say and let you laugh about. It's funny. Some things are appropriate, but you have to know for your age. There's a way that you can be in lingo and a way that you can still be funny and not offend everybody because you can't exactly. Not every drag queen joke is a thing that Greg would want to hear. It'll make him embarrassed and uncomfortable, right? I'm a little looser. You're offended about everything. I'm offended about almost nothing. But I'm trying to indicate to you at a level of appropriate behavior that's good for you and your age right now. And then you can just watch me and be like, okay, when I'm a grown up, I can act like that. And my mom is telling me I have permission to act like this as a kid, right? and you can know it's allowed. We are here because you needed out of that apartment. You started having flashbacks of what was happening, what happened to you. And I knew then you needed to get here, and we got you here as fast as possible. We've done this 3 times now.
That was all for you.
You did, didn't you? Yeah,
You need to get
listen, I'm here because of me, and my house is killing me. You are here because of you. And Cody is by himself at the apartment because, quite frankly, he likes the freedom and the privacy. He used to have it all the time when he used to go to dance.
Yes.
We've all had things taken away from us over COVID, everybody. And we're all just sad and we're lonely. Right? But
Be sad.
really, really sad. I know, but you know what? We're almost done. And yeah, our life seems pretty fucking shitty, but like, you just have to remember if it's happening to me, it's happening to everybody. And you have to assume that at some point, the judges are not going to do things out of order because their reputation is not advocating for any side of the government or not government. They just abide by the law. And that's how I am. It's good or not good. It's yes or no. It's favorable or unfavorable. I don't do anything or say anything that is unfavorable for a bigger lawsuit later. Right? I'm just waiting for the government of Canada to realize they're euchred. Because I can't get a fucking doctor, and this is what is happening to women in Ontario, and nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to care. The very fact that they can do this to me is a fucking abomination, and that's why I'm so angry, because we don't have time to get a lawyer. I just have to tell a judge we don't have a lawyer, and if we had time, we would have gotten a lawyer. And I need to indicate my last name is incorrect, and I need to do that in 1 sentence.
My last name is incorrect on this legal document.
Yeah. It's not really hard to prove that my last name isn't incorrect. They don't even know who they're fighting. That is the fucking thing. They have no idea. They just are guessing at who's coming into court tomorrow. And they think it's probably going to be someone insane. And when I'm just like, my name isn't even spelled correct on these documents.
And then you just can commit, and they're just going to see you and like, do you have the wrong Zoom?
Exactly. I'm going to look just like this.
Do you have
Probably. I'm not dressing up. I might try to wash my hair, but it's going up. I'm not dressing up for court. I refuse. Because I asked for some time and privacy to deal with a kidney infection. And I've not been given either of those things. And that's a violation of my human rights. So I will show up exactly how I need to show up. This year has been, I told everybody 2021 would be worse than 2020. I told you. And they were like, well, you almost died. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Can you imagine what's going to be worse than that? Here we are at the end of the year. Yeah, it got worse, didn't it? But 2022 should be pretty fucking easy. Because either I'll be dead, which doesn't seem likely overall, or like we just have lawyers starting to deal with some of these shit, and then maybe you can just go to school, or maybe even better, get therapy, and maybe Cody can get some therapy, and maybe Greg can get some therapy, and we can all get some therapy so we can finish up what kind of family is even left after the government of Canada is done pillaging us. You don't think that this is not going to be a big fucking deal at some point? I'm Indigenous. I'm screaming it at the top of my lungs. This is happening in Canada currently. This is a disaster. This is an absolute disaster. And at any moment, there could be a leak and this could go viral and this could go fucking insane. We could have media at any point. I am live streaming this and they are going to want to hear about this. And at any point that could happen. I'm waiting, but I'm not on the news today. Tell you that. Today, I'm just, the only thing that I'm doing today, I'm live streaming if I want to be live streaming, and I'm doing nothing. I'm resting my body. I'm trying to drink my water, and I'm trying to eat. That is all that I'm doing. That is all that I need to do today. You have plans. We have plans together, but my plan today, I have 1 weekend to get Chip Shop safe so that I can go to a fucking fucking court on Monday. And I will go. Of course I will go. But if you really think that this is the best, like I said, the last place you want to see this case is in a courtroom, and that's like they're just dead set on having it go there, and like
There might be a storm coming.
there might be a storm coming. You think? Yeah,
For them.
for them, you'd think it'd be already there if they open their fucking eyes and look at what I've already told them.
They're just like Helen Keller. They don't see the tornado coming.
I'm just like, Helen Keller, they don't see the tornado coming. Well, you should feel it.
And they don't hear the tornado.
But that's the thing about a tornado. You can feel a tornado. They change the way that the air functions. You can always feel a tornado. You can feel when bad weather is coming. You ever look outside and you're like, you think it might storm?
Even when it's like sunny out?
Yeah. You're like, are we supposed to get rain later today? Because like I feel something's funny in the air. That's just changing
I
energy.
can like smell the ozone before it's even there. I can smell that snow smell before it's even there.
Yeah. Sure. That's what I'm saying.
Clouds.
It's got energy, honey. You can know something's coming before it gets there, and it's like I'm very, 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 very smart. You know what I mean? And I really can't see a reason why every single person can't do it exactly how I'm doing it. Because I'm saying we need lawyers, we need judges. Those are great opportunities to have a job opportunity right now. Indigenous advocates are about to boom. Let's pump up that industry. What else did I say? Family and Children's Services workers need retraining, and they are a job opportunity. And fire is a job opportunity, but everybody knows that. They know that the advances. What I'm trying to say, I'm talking about house fires, not fucking forest fires. We have a situation here, so like, maybe we can just tell these kids that there's lots of opportunities for them to live, and we don't have to make them think that there's actually not going to be a planet because no one's listening to them. So you know what? So like Greta got here first, and then I'm here, and I'm just like, didn't you listen to Greta? Didn't they make it themselves clear? And then you went and you forgot to do what you said you were gonna do in front of all these kids, in front of me, and I'm just like, they are just gonna be fucking out for blood. Because they're all thinking this. This is the problem. They're all thinking this. And they got this anger that they don't know what to do with. And they're looking at their moms and they're like, safe place abuse. And the moms are just in fucking a shell shock state right now. And if they're handling anything at all, I'd be fucking shocked. And the fathers are going to come home and their daughters are unruly. So like the situation is not going to come up with like rioting in the street like you think it is. You're going to come with like runaways and suicides. And then no movie industry. If you can see what I'm saying, the whole thing is just a catastrophe waiting for it to happen. On every level I can think of. And all I need to do is prove that the Family and Children's Services of Niagara didn't even spell my name right. But this is my obligation as a woman in Ontario, is I have to get out of my deathbed to show up to court because I have been too sick to deal with facts after my assault by the Niagara Regional Police. Well, that's interesting. So I'm going to be ending this now. Obviously, it's going to stay open on the YouTube stream, fucking live page for the gifted class because I'm not trying to hide anything. And if I'm feeling well enough, I will come back. But I have to drink a bunch of fucking water first. I have to get Charlie on track. I have to get this day going because I can't think about this shit anymore. I have to put it away. I must, because I already know what I'm going to say. I already know how I'm going to say it. And I know the first thing I'm going to do is ask for a lawyer. But it's taken me 3 hours to be able to even say that without yelling. And that is on top of projectile vomiting trauma last night and shaking without sleeping last night. That is how much trauma that I am being faced every single time I have to fucking deal with the cops on any level, including the consequences of what they did to me. And my daughter is watching it too, and we are in a safe house. We are currently in what we refer to in my family as the safe house. And when I have to put people here, we call it a secret vacation. And those are verbs we use all the time, verbiage. We use them. They're consistent here. If we are fucking needing a break from the shit that's happened over here, we are great. My heart hurts. My head hurts. I have to have a good time with my daughter who's barely hanging in there. And like, I must behave perfectly. And if I don't behave perfectly, then my children get taken away. Okay, cool. Because you didn't even get my name right on this document. But as a woman, that's my job. I just have to show fucking up, and not a single person is watching me. Because not a single person agrees that this is fucking this easy. And yes, it is this easy. They're not even getting your name right. And as soon as you can prove that they don't even know what your name is, nothing else matters after that. You have no idea what you're talking about. You didn't do your research. You base everything off of one police report that she's disputing even is a fucking thing. And at the end of the day, the answer is no. That's how court is supposed to work. And so far, that's exactly how it's worked. Even Greg's not hot as evicted. And he's the policer of everything to say, not saying he's the most petty person I've ever heard. Let me just say, I'll say one thing, real funny, real start. If you're listening and how fucking easy this is, how fucked you are, is your superintendents currently, Deb and Mike Sharp at Oakdale Heights Plaza in St. Catharines, sent every single tenant a notice to their house indicating that it was not their job to sort out the recycling so you don't get a fine. Do you want to see it? It's interesting. Very fucking interesting. Yeah, if you don't want to say that every single organization is just about to say they are acting on their own volition and please don't tank my company, I'm like, all right, that's fine. But like, I need to pay my rent and I need a fucking place to live that's safe. And I got a thumbs up from this. I have nobody watching this. One person's like, go you. And I'm just like, yay, go me, I guess. I can't think about this anymore. I know what I'm going to say. I know how I have to say it. And I just need to get myself healthy enough now to say it without crying. I can do that. Hell, I was able to manage to get myself out of the psych fucking hold, a holding cell, the whole 9 yards, and I didn't cry once. You'll never see me cry. Not unless you mean something to me. Only then I'll let you see me cry. Other than that, you're just being handled. Trust me, I'm handling a lot of things right now, and I'm about to be handling a lot more things right in a minute. I handle things. I'm a handler. I'm a fixer. Olivia Pope, here we go. They called in the Pocahontas. Throw me in, coach. Throw me in. Pocahontas reporting for duty. You're just so fucked. Why can't I end the stream? I can't end the stream. I cannot end it. Just reload it. Reload it. I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but I know it's not a good thing. And everything I might have just said might have just been for absolutely nobody. I can't stop it. It's like it's not working. This whole thing is not working. It's probably nothing to do with YouTube. I don't know if I'm still live streaming. No, I'm not. But I know while I was recording. And whatever they keep, they keep. And I always leave the DFD class. I just fucking... Nothing is working. I'm just going to shut off my computer. Sorry. This is an incorrect way. Like, I'm live streaming and I can't even shut down my own fucking Chromebook. It gets completely broken, locked. I can't do anything with it. Jesus Christ.